nothing like Speedway. The roar of the bus and the cars. The race is on, smell the fumes in the air. The crowd comes alive, they breathe the fire. Nothing like Speedway. Nothing like Speedway. Nothing like it. Nothing like Speedway around. Nothing like Speedway around.
Number 5, very professional indeed, including race recaps, interviews, you name it. They've got a Panda video the people to see. Page number 5 of your program. Get your orders in very early because they're stocked.
Today is Wednesday the 26th of February and it's scrutineering day for some 84 cars for the running of the 1992 Australian Super Sedan Championships here at Speedway Park in South Australia. Mark Weaver is a friendly visitor from over the board, been here many times. In fact, he was here 3 weeks ago and ran second in our state title. Mark, has that given you an edge for the big title this weekend?
I believe it has in a certain way. The car's been very new to me. I've only had about 5 races in this particular car and it's just nice to get the feel of it on this particular track.
Tell us about the car. What is it and what makes it run?
It's a Commodore, powered by Chev, of course. We've just put a brand new engine in for this particular race. The car's owned by Darren Shaw and Jeff Truant from Fun City Go-Karts in Melbourne, and it's thanks to them that I've been able to have a drive in this title again.
Well, Mark, we know you know the track, we know you like Adelaide. Good luck, and let's hope we see you up on the victory dais.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Thank you.
The driver's briefing taking place down here in the pit area approximately 2 hours before heat number 1 was due to get underway. The adrenaline is pumping through the veins, the methanol is burning, and the Kings without wings are preparing to do battle at what we believe is the premier speedway facility that Australia has to offer. Hello there, my name is John Cobby for Panda Video Productions, and welcome to the Park of Spark here in Adelaide for the biggest prize that Super Sedan car racing has to offer, the Australian title for the 91-92 season. So please sit back and enjoy the action and the drama as it unfolds. This is the first night of competition of the Nationals. Dorian 62, Lionel West from 2. Row number 2 consisting of Michael Hanlow and Grenville Anderson. Let's see if we can get a nice clean start here. The ACF Australian Super Sedan Car Championship. Heat number 1 being proudly brought to you with the compliments of Glenn Dix. The green flag drops and getting away down the main straightaway is car number 29, driven by Kerry McCarthy. One up near the wall, it's car number 10. And we've had a spin. Wayne Randall, car number 36, has spun the car and it stacks on the mill. The 3-4 turned very early on indeed. Car sideways, Shaw Middleton involved. Car 95, I think it was a bit of tail end Charlie stuff there. 92 about to roar into action. Watch for the green flag. Starters orders this time round. Corner number 4 is where the action is. Let's check it out. The green flag forthcoming. And getting away, I can see a fair bit of smoke there coming from the right rear tyre of Kerry McCarthy. He's got a bit of fiberglass, and again, we've got a spin. Eager pace here, 12 up on the Coca-Cola counter. This being the ACF Australian Super Sedan Car Championship for season 91-92, being proudly sponsored by Glenn Dix. The green flag waves. Let's see who can get the upper hand. Corner number 1, we've got McCarthy on the inside. Car number 88 running on the high line. Grenville Anderson, New South Wales. Car number 10 just sitting into the drift there of McCarthy's car, and also moving up Ian Marshall, the Queenslander, early on again sideways onto the infield. And we will have a yellows caution situation once again. Let me get it right now. It'll be a caution situation. And believe you me, we will have a complete restart. So we promised you plenty of action here and early on. Now, we've got the lofted yellow. We are about to go racing heat number 1. Let's have a go. 3rd or 4th time lucky perhaps here. Being sponsored by Glenn Dix, the ACF Australian Super Sedan Car Championship, the green flag. And again, getting away into corner number 1, it's Kerry McCarthy driving car 29 in car number 88, running the high line. Remembering we have to take full advantage of the roof numbers here. Driving car number 88, having a look at the starters. Not listed, no, it's Mike Hanlow, the Northern Territorian. Let's see all the cars getting through relatively unscathed, and it's Kerry McCarthy driving car 29. But the New South Welshman, Grenville Anderson, takes the high road to China, and now Gabby Marshall down on the inside. Michael Hanlow back there rounding out the top 4. Now McCarthy trying to fight back on the inside. Exiting corner number 4, we've got Grenville Anderson out there leading in the IROC. Behind him, Ian Marshall, Queensland car 32. And Kerry McCarthy, car 29, trying to put the points on the board, remembering that the car is totally unfamiliar with Kerry, has not driven it before, used to piloting the IROC, but he's doing his absolute best. And let's hope for South Australia's hopes that he can put the points on the board. Gee, disastrous luck there. Shaw Middleton, car 95. One of the South Australians, Shaw Middleton, rolling around the track. Maybe he's having trouble finding the right gear there, but having no trouble whatsoever. Driving car number 10, the IROC. It's Grenville Anderson, but the chase is on in hot pursuit. We've got Ian Marshall, Queensland roof number 32. McCarthy still back there in 3rd position. Michael Hanlow rounding out the top 4. And back there behind him, we've got one of the yellow entries trying to pick up the number. We've got 3 on the car. We'll take particular notice of the roof number. It's car number 53 in there behind him, being Alan Baker, New South Wales, car 53. He's done pretty well, started from 9 and now backing up. But Shaw Middleton's still out there, circulating, I guess, trying to put the points on the board. But he's obviously got some kind of problem with the car. Coming down the lane straight away, car 29, Kerry McCarthy, the first of the South Australians thus far to be rounding out the top 3. Not a bad effort, but out there leading the field. It's New South Wales, car number 10, Grenville Anderson, doing it easy as he throws the car sideways in the 1-2 turn. Ian Marshall. Marshall's dropped a whole heap of water from the car. Tragic luck for the Queenslander. You can see the water coming down the main straight away, and that puts Kerry McCarthy into 2nd position, but the caution. We're under a caution situation here. The yellow lights are out. Dix, the ASCF Australian Super Sedan Car Championship blast back into action. And Grenville Anderson taking a notably high line on the racetrack. Shaw Middleton is going to have to make it off the track now. He's obviously rolling around. He can't seem to get the car stoked up at all. Oh, McCarthy a push in the front end. Randall tries to get on the inside. And we've got a 4-car freight train down the main chute. Kerry McCarthy, Wayne Randall back behind him. We've got car number 53, Alan Baker from New South Wales. Car 28 also up there, but now pulling on to the infield. So the attrition rate becoming a real factor here. Car 28 being Kevin Bell, the Western Australian. He's pulling onto the infield, but the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions respectively. An absolute cracker between McCarthy, Wayne Randall and car number 53. It's down the back chute. The car's trying to get around either side of McCarthy. Corner number 3 now, about to exit 4, but Grenville Anderson is out there, all on his own. 3 wide down the main straight away, and through on the inside, we've got Alan Baker, car 53. Wayne Randall trying to go the high line here, but McCarthy just staying firm there on the mid-track line. Grenville Anderson running the 3-4 turn, about to come down the main straight away. The white flag on the ready, and will it be Grenville Anderson, car number 10, to draw first blood here at the national title? Or can car number 53 perform something rather miraculous here in the last half a lap? You're checking out car number 10 as he slides it in. He's got the car set up impeccably here for the track conditions. The checkered waves. Grenville Anderson, car number 10, getting through to take the victory. The New South Welshman, car 53, getting through for 2nd. Being Alan Baker, also from New South Wales, and Kerry McCarthy. Unfortunate there. Wayne Randall just pipping him on the post, I think, for mine. Okay, speaking with, I guess we could say, almost a legend in the Speedway arena here in South Australia, Kerry McCarthy. Kerry, during this season, I think you must have run over a dozen Chinamen.
If someone can get hold of this monkey with a busload of Chinamen off me, I said, I'll be laughing, really. I've had a bad year.
And, of course, something broke in the motor department here on Wednesday at practice, and you're not in your own car tonight.
Yeah, I had an engine failure on Wednesday night. We broke a engine component, a small one, but it did a lot of damage, so it's put us out for the year.
And how have you seen the level of competition out here? I know you've been watching a number of times and driven a few times yourself. How have you seen it?
The racing this year has been the fastest. The cars have been presented the best. It's a credit to everybody that's actually got out here. And tonight's and tomorrow night's racing is going to be on fire. It's going to be hot stuff.
Do you think you're going to have any trouble adapting to a new car tonight?
Yeah, well, I suppose the Chevrolet part of me is going to have to go right down to my socks, and I've been offered a Ford tonight to drive, so I'm really happy with Tony for offering me the car. Gives me a chance to at least maybe qualify and show a few of the Chev fans, you know, what a Ford can do.
Okay, there you have it. Kerry McCarthy, formerly number 24, driving roof number 29 tonight. Thanks, Kerry.
Thanks very much.
Racing with heat number 2 of the ACF Super Sedan Car Championship Heat 2, being brought to you by Bob Jane T-Mart, and getting a nice line off the start. Car 14, Lachlan Jeffries, our provisional race leader. David Nichols in there behind him. Oh, Lachlan Jeffries all loose down on the back straight away. Nichols running wide. Plenty of racetrack here. Let's see whether the Tasmanian can get the job done down the main straightaway. Car 43 in Tony Giancola for Kenwick. He's up there rounding out the top three. And car number 74, Ron Dalton, the Victorian, in there. Nichols with a slide job, corner number 3, and makes it into the lead now. So he's definitely got clear racetrack ahead of him. The Tasmanian will be absolutely loving this as he throws it into corner number 1. We've still got the South Aussie and Lachlan Jeffries in there in second. And Tony Giancola, the Western Australian. Jeffries again loose halfway down the back straight away. And he's spun it on the infield, sending the official scurrying. And Giancola running down on the gutter. Car 74, Ronnie Dalton, moves up into third position. And here come a couple of the pink cars, namely Stephen and Bill Miller, with Stevie Stewart, car 47, not too far behind. Ivor Beneke, car number 2, still in there doing a pretty good job. But coming down the main straightaway, 4 down, 8 remaining. And it's still car number 82 beginning to take a commanding lead now as he stands on it down the back straightaway. Car 43 and Tony Giancola still sitting in second position in the running. And car 74, the Victorian Ronnie Dalton, he's running out the top 3. But Stephen Miller, car number 6, certainly applying the pressure down the main chute, feeling his way around, trying to get on the inside now, backing off, because he knows he's got Billy the Kid in there behind him, driving for Blair Arthur Auto Parts also. And we appear to have a bit of a moisture patch halfway down the back straight away. We saw Lachlan Jeffries getting all loose as he circulated down the back chute. We've also seen Bill Miller likewise. Stephen on the inside, trying to get by on Ronnie Dalton, but couldn't quite get the job done there. Full credit to the Victorian, just holding firm there, wouldn't let him through. And car 47, Stevie Stewart, beginning to make up some ground on his South Australian compatriot in Billy Miller. Exiting corner number 4, we've got a slight cushion beginning to form 3/4 of the way up the racing line. But check out the Tasmanian, he's out there. He's thrown the gauntlet out, took over about 1 lap in from Lachlan Jeffries, and it's been smooth sailing. Car number 82, David Nichols is the name, and can he put the points on the board? 32 or 36 for taking out the heat race. 43 and Tony Giancola would be happy with this point situation thus far, sitting in second, but the battle for third, fourth, fifth and sixth positions respectively. Well, it's an absolute ripper between Stephen Miller, also in there Ronnie Dalton, the Victorian, Bill Miller, car 77, and also Stevie Stewart, car 47. Rounding out that 4-car tussle now, Stephen has made it through. He's got his sights set on Tony Giancola, car 143 with 43 roof number. But coming down the main chute with 2 laps up in the Coca-Cola counter, it's David Nichols, the Tasmanian. Car 43, Tony Giancola still in second. Can the South Australian get there? Stephen Miller on the charge down the back chute. He's got a sniff. There could be a big slide job on our hands. Miller on the inside. The white flag coming out, but it's Stephen Miller on the inside of Tony Giancola. This is where all the interest lies now, and he's got through. So good start from the South Aussie. Has been right off the pace of recent weeks here in South Australia. And look at the way he's getting off the corners. The car is obviously working well, but put it together, the checkered flag waves. David Nichols' car, number 82, the Tasmanian, getting through for the gold and the glory. Car number 6, Stephen Miller for second, and Bill Miller, car 77, rounding out the top 3 there, must have got by.
Okay, speaking with SA77, Bill Miller. Bill, you've been running pretty strongly here during the 91-92 season. There's a lot of interstaters here. Who do you see as being the real hard chargers?
Oh, there's heaps of them. There's about 30 cars out there that can win it. I don't know. Anybody that starts off the front will win.
Pretty confident?
No, if we make the final, I'll be very happy.
Okay, and of course, there's 2 other cars in the team here. I guess you'd be hoping for them to make the final as well?
Yeah, if we all make the final, we'll be ecstatic. If Stephen makes the final up the front, he'll give it a good shake.
Okay, there you have it, SA77, Bill Miller. Okay, SA number 6, Stephen Miller, we're talking in the pits here. How would you assess your own season by your own standards thus far?
Oh, we've been going pretty well this year. We're running, I think, second on points at the moment, but there's only 1 race in it, so either Stevie or myself could win it during the year. Yep.
And pretty confident going to the Nationals here?
Oh, I think there's any one of about 30 cars that could win tonight. They're all very close on times, yeah.
And the car and the motor?
Yeah, we've got a borrowed motor for this week. Robbie Stevens has lent us his motor. It's got a bit more grunt than the one we've been running all year, so we should be up there with them, yep.
Okay, well, definitely like to wish you all the best of luck on behalf of all the South Australians here going into the title.
Right, thank you.
And gee, what do we got here? SA number 7, Joni Miller, the grand, I guess we should say lady of the Speedway Arena. Now, you'd have to be one of the fastest women ever to sit behind a V8 here, particularly out at Speedway Park. Looking forward to the Nationals?
Yes, I am a little bit nervous tonight. I don't think I've ever felt so nervous as I have tonight.
And who would you see out of all the interstaters they've been practicing, they've been here in the past week or two, as being the real hard chargers?
I think Gabby Marshall and perhaps Peter Aylett is going to be a dark horse there. He won over here last time.
Okay, well there you have it. Joni Miller, SA number 7. Have a good Nationals.
Thank you very much.
Welcome you. In for a great night's racing, we've got 12 laps on the Coca-Cola counter for this event 3, sponsored by White Line Transport, heat number 3, the Australian Super Sedan Championship. Waiting for a start on this, and we've got it. We've got a green flag.
Okay, for Cardi Racing Components, WA 43, Robert Gray, and we've had a lose car 67, and John Rodder riding a wheel into the concrete wall. Let's pick it up. Joni Miller, car number 7, will be leading them in. Watch for the green flag. Let's go racing. Heat number 3 being brought to you with the compliments of White Line Transport, the Australian Super Sedan Car Championship. And getting away pretty well, car number 44, the Western Australian, and Robert Gray for Cardi Racing Components. Checking out the second running position here, we've got Joni Miller, car number 7. For Blue Earth Auto Parts, great to see Joan up there doing well as she comes down the main straight away. Danny Amato, car number 48, rounding out the top 3. And back there behind him, car number 86, having a look down here at our list of starters. Methinks is Anthony Mannion, the Tasmanian. And behind him, well, we've got a whole heap of cars beginning to make their way through, namely Tasmania 83, the very likeable Peter Aylett for Hollyman's Shipping, and also Boral Gascony behind him, and defending champion, the Victorian Tony Grinstead. He's in there battling, and John Rodder, car 46. Good to see him get a restart as Aylett goes on the inside of car number 3. Having a look here, Ronnie Pine, the New South Welshman. But check out your race leader, car number 44. It's the Western Australian. Robert Gray is out there. He's absolutely throwing caution to the wind at this stage as he motors down the back straight away. And it seems only a race stoppage could prevent him from taking victory in heat number 3.
Yes, a tremendous race. Of course, Joan Miller, our own Joan out there, was featured on the back page of the news yesterday in some publicity. That's our racing grandma, and I tell you what, she's doing it so very well.
Okay, picking up Robert Gray, car 44 I should say. Don't know where I'm getting 43 from, as Peter Aylett goes around the outside of Anthony Mannion, driving car number 86. He's having a few problems trying to get the car to set itself up for the track out here as he rips the tear off. But the order, it's Robert Gray, car 44. Number 7 in Joan Miller in second position. She'd be wrapped if she could hang on from here. A very healthy point situation coming up for Joan, if she can just hang on. Checking out the situation, 6 laps remaining. Danny Amato, car 48, the Victorian in third position currently. And behind him, car number 83. Having a look down, that's the Tasmanian Peter Aylett. Now, he's won this title before, and he certainly knows what it's all about. And right on the back fender, Ron Pine, New South Wales, car number 3. He's right in there amongst it, applying plenty of pressure to car number 83, as I said, the Tasmanian in Peter Aylett.
Yes, very interesting. Whether Peter Aylett can get through, he's down there on the pole line, but he's being nudged as well up the back straight, you might say. Around the outside, Aylett holding on. What's going to happen here? Joni Miller still safely in second position now. Leader right out there, Robert Gray doing it very easily indeed.
Yes, Tony Grinstead, notably a fair way back in the field here early on, JT. He's driving the purple car as he circulates out of corner number 2, and with 3 laps remaining, the way Robert Gray's going, he's definitely got his car, or the rear wheels are definitely sticking very well to the track. He's getting power to the ground as the defect flag gets shown to Tony Grinstead, or a flag of that particular nature. The white flag will be coming out next time round for Robert Gray, car number 44. But Joan Miller, South Australians, come on, cheer her home. She's got a nice little buffer there with Ronnie Pine, car number 3. Definitely one of the fastest women you could ever hope to see out here at Speedway Park. Got the V8 beneath her, definitely honking around our 430-metre oval, and she's doing a terrific job. Let's hope with 1 lap remaining that Joan can get in and point the second placing points on the board. But Ronnie Pine, car number 3, beginning to make up a little bit of ground behind her, and Danny Amato, car number 48. But how about a big round of applause? Robert Gray, car number 44, the Western Australian. Fine performance indeed, but this has to be worth putting their hands together. Joni Miller, car number 7, the South Australian, in for second position in heat number 3 of the Australian title for the Super Sedans, followed by the hard-charging Ronnie Pine, New South Wales, car 3. Danny Amato in 48, car 83 being Peter Aylett, 40.
Another Western Australian driver to make the big trip over is Robert Gray. Robert, welcome to Speedway Park for these 92 Nationals. How do you rate your chances?
As good as anyone else.
Why do you say that?
I just think most of the top line cars are all here, and it's going to be a hard race, and we'll see who's the best at the end.
Okay, how do you rate yourself and the car on clay?
Really good, yeah. Like I said a minute ago, we only have a couple of clay tracks over there, but every time we race on them, we always go really good. I've travelled a few times over here, quite a few times over here, and every time there's a clay track around, it always goes good.
Robert Gray, the very best of luck, and let's hope we see you up on that victory dais with clay all over your goggles.
I hope so.
Before car 35, Brian Finlay, the pace beginning to quicken. Watch for the green flag 8 up on the Coca-Cola counter. The Street Stocks heat number 1 being brought to you by Removal Rubbish Company. Rocket into action, and it's Cyril O'Connor who steers his car the best of the rest thus far, exiting the 1-2 turn, standing on it down the back straight away. And the rest of the field eating his clay, so to speak, at this stage. We've got Brian Finlay driving for Patches Bitumen and Mobil Scotch Petroleum, sitting in second position. This would have to be close to record pace here. The track very, very drivey. We've got car 47 right on the pace here very early on. Having a look down at our list of starters, that appears to be Brian Donegan's old car. Let's have a look for Dilato now. He's running the High Line. We've got Brian Donegan. Having a look down here in the program, car 71, we've got Donegan listed to be driving. That appears to be his old car, car number 47. Having a look down at the program, so we're waiting for official confirmation as to who this particular... No, it's Kim Cottrell having a look at the list of starters here from our computer printout. So Kimmy Cottrell running the high road to China. Check him out now, no guts, no glory coming into fashion here. He is definitely running wide, and the spin, it's Jimmy Gibbs' car 67, the Animal just avoiding him to Garth Raymond. However, the green flag's been waved, and Kim Cottrell immediately moving to the high side of the racetrack, trying to put a number on O'Connor. Let's see how much drive he can get up there. And of course, the important aspect here in the Street Stocks is to try and keep the momentum going. And as I speak, it's car 47 being driven by Kim Cottrell. For Dilato as he exits corner number 4. He's been given the wind up as he passes Cyril O'Connor back there behind them. Car 35, Brian Finlay. 51 in Eno Daniel rounding out the top 4. And Rob Gallen in car 26 currently sitting in 5th position with Jimmy Gibbs, car 67. Beginning to come on with a bit of a late race charge here. We've got exactly 4 laps remaining. Gibbs is sideways, getting all loose, but now getting the car back in a straight line. 3 wide down the main chute between Mark Tuttle, Alan Rutledge, Alan Beaumain, and also in there competing, we've got car number 6 having a look down, Michael Passmore for Phillips Racing Engines. But, gee, the car's very, very close indeed. You wouldn't have been able to fit a screwdriver between them on that particular occasion. But down the main straightaway, it's Kim Cottrell piloting car 47 so successfully during this event. Car number 3 for Ken Bowie Car Sales. It's Cyril O'Connor. He campaigned this new car for the first time last Friday night, and is definitely one of the big improvers now that he's got the new car beneath him. 51, Ian O'Daniel still back there holding down a creditable 3rd position with Jimmy Gibbs' car 67. Still back there battling away valiantly with Brian Finlay 35. Rob Dowling for SAE Motorspares back there sitting in 6th position in the running with 1.5 laps remaining. I think it should be a clear-cut victory here to Kimmy Cottrell, car 47, but we've seen it before. Anything can happen here in motorsport, and usually does out here at Speedway Park. White flag out, Kim Cottrell 47, 3/4 of a lap remaining, and he will take out the win. Behind him, car number 3 in Cyril O'Connor. But I think the most interest here is situated on the battle for 4th and 5th positions with Finlay going through on the inside. So a nice little passing move there from Brian Finlay. But the checkered flag out. And getting through for the victory, car 47, Brian Donegan. Brian Finlay's thrown it away. I'm not sure whether he copped a nudge or not. And number 3, Cyril O'Connor, I think, eventually getting in for 2nd, followed by Jim Gibbs, car 67. Ian O'Daniel in 51, a good result.
Current Australian Super Sedan champion, Tony Grinstead. Tony, welcome back to Adelaide. You've had a run here and didn't have a good run.
No, we crashed on the first lap.
So there's this weekend. Is there a lot of extra pressure on you because you are defending champion?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the crew, a lot of pressure on everyone. But especially when you look around the pits and you see all the cars, that puts the pressure right on you, yeah.
Well, some 84 cars. Tell us about yours and why yours is better than anybody else's.
Well, it's probably the oldest car here, for starters. They reckon it should be on a pension, but
Well, Tony, we know you have done it a couple of times before. You've won Victorian titles, and I can't see any reason why you can't win this one again. So we hope we'll see you up in the victory dice.
Well, we definitely be trying real hard, and but then again, every car that goes out, they'll be trying real hard too. So it should be a top race.
Tony Grinstead, good luck.
Thank you very much.
For this heat number 4, event 4 on your program, proudly sponsored by Ian Jones Auto Parts. We're ready to go racing in this event in the Australian Super Sedan Championship. We have the green flag, and let's have a look.
Yes, Johnny Leslide, car number 81, getting away remarkably well there, having a look down. He started from pole position and is really beginning to assert some real authority on the field. Behind him, car number 71, I think it is. Having a look down at the list of starters, possibly car 73. In fact, there's Lee Edwards down there, so apologies on that one. We were led to believe that he was a scratching. Graham Callan, car 42, now trying to go on the inside of Edwards, and does so there with effortless ease, exiting corner number 2. Behind him appears to be just trying to pick it up, the Kane car, number 31, in the list of starters down here. In fact, it is. It's Darren Kane, Tasmania's 31. My apologies, still trying to come to grips with the roof numbers here with the Super Sedans. But it's Johnny Leslide running the 3-4 turn. Graham Cowell, the South Australian, making up a fair bit of ground, gets a bit of a push, exiting corner number 4. And car 31, it's Darren Kane, the Tasmanian, preparing to go on the inside of Lee Edwards. Can he do so? Edwards in there, the South Australian, running mid-track to the high line. But no, Darren Kane through on the inside. And, one of the car number 6, I think it is, trying to pick up the roof number. In there battling fiercely with car number 68, now moving through Craig Vosbergen for Pilkington Glass. Now sets his sights on Darren Kane, trying to get by on the inside. Mark Weaver, car number 76, after finishing second in the South Australian Super Sedan car title. He's sitting back there battling with Lee Edwards now. And Trevor Hammer, car number 4, Tail and Charlie at this point in time.
Yes, we've got 2 races here at the moment, John, with a lot of dust down the back chute there after a spin out. We've got 6.5 laps to go. We've also got a problem in turn 2. Let's get back to the start of the race. Start of the leaders there, car 81 out in front, John Leslide, followed very closely indeed by Graham Cowland. He's right on the hammer there, and if he can get through the dust, see where he's going, could be interesting. Car up against the wall and safely down back onto the pole line.
Yes, that was Darren Kane there, JT, car number 31, the Tasmanian, getting all loose indeed, obviously just washed up there and trying to keep it away from making contact with the concrete barrier. But the battle for the lead, come on, cheer on the South Australian. This is heat number 4 of the Aussie title, and it's Graham Callan, the Murray Bridge pilot, trying his absolute utmost to try and get by any which way on Johnny Leslide, car 81. Moves up now right behind the back push bar. Car 68 in Craig Vosbergen rounding out the top 3. Car 87 now pulling onto the infield. Having a look down being John Brown, the New South Welshman. So John Brown an exclusion, and Graham Cowland still back there battling with our race leader. With car 57 getting in the way there. They're putting a lap on him, having a look at this particular driver.
Michael Pogorski.
Yes, certainly is Bogorski there, the Tasmanian by memory. But Graham Callan, again, he's got a sniff of victory, one feels. Oh, Bogorski hits for the concrete wall. Just keeps it away from making contact again here. So a few of the interstate drivers having trouble trying to come to grips with our clay oval here in Adelaide. As car 42, Graham Callan drops back a car length or 2 on our race leader, but now makes it up as Leslide gets a little bit loose. Oh, whiff of smoke there. And that's the checkered just about. No, the white flag at the ready. The checkered will be next time round. And still running in 3rd position, it's Craig Vosbergen, and we've got a yellow. The yellow light has been brought about, I think, because of a witch's hat that's just been collected by Craig Vosbergen down. It's about ready for the recommencement. The yellow flag in the air. 2 up on the Coca-Cola counter. Watch for the green. The Ian Jones Auto Parts. Heat number 4 being brought to you there. We started with 12. We got 2 on the board, 10 down. Callum in hot pursuit of our race leader in Johnny Leslide. Bogorski a lap down. Craig Vosbergen moving up behind him. And Darren Kane, the Tasmanian, back there in 4th position. The white flag on display. Graham Callan, can he get there? The South Australian, can he put the win on the board? This is the question that I ask you here early on, with Craig Vosbergen up there in 3rd posse. Darren Kane still there in 4th position, followed by Mark Weaver, Trevor Hammer and Lee Edwards. But it should be a victory for Johnny Leslide, car 81. Only just car 42, Graham Callan, narrowly avoiding the concrete wall. Behind them to round out the top 3, Craig Vosbergen car.
Newcastle driver Bob Brewer is no stranger to Adelaide Speedway Park, having won a Coca-Cola 50-lapper and a Drinkwise 50-lapper 2 years ago. Is that going to help you for the big one over the next couple of nights, Bob?
I'm hoping it will. We like this track here pretty well. last time we were, naturally we won the 50 lapper, so I'd have to say that. You know, no, I think we should go okay.
It's only scrutineering and already you're making repairs to the car. Does this mean anything?
Yeah, it means that they're sort of having a bit of a pick at us, but, you know, talking about a half inch here, a half inch there, it's nothing serious, but just annoying.
Well, Bob, all we can do is wish you the best of luck and hope we see.
Lacey and Philip Paul. Row 3, Kenny Baker and Trevor Nucky. Starters orders, green flag waves getting away. It's Peter Evans on the inside. The South Aussie challenger. Let's see whether he can get the job done. And yes, we've got a South Australian finally leading a heat race here. Great to see indeed. Adam Fendyke, the Victorian. He's in there battling in second. Oh, one driver all sideways trying to get it back out there on the terra firma. Trying to pick it up. Car number 63 in fact. And that's Kenny Baker from New South Wales. But we've got Adam Fendyke, car 77, 75 I should say, and back there battling behind him it appears to be Paul de Lacy, with car number 12 also beginning to get up there amongst it, being Philip Paul the Victorian, but Peter Evans, car 54, with 2 laps down, 10 remaining. Let's hope he can get the job done here. Adam Fendyke in second, Paul de Lacy, car 27, rounding out the top 3, with Philip Paul the Victorian back there in 4th position, and they're being hotly pursued by car number 63, Kenny Baker. And behind them in 6th position, just exiting corner number 4, we've got car 71, Bruce Tate, and John Hughes, the other South Australian, or the second here thus far in the running, in the Di Tommaso Pantera, just passing Bruce Tate down the back straight away. The car, it's an immaculate sight. He's been out here a number of seasons now. Hasn't quite put the laps under the belt that he would have hoped for going into the national title, but a wily old campaigner that he is, John Hughes, being the boss of World Series Sprint cars. He's got that competitive spirit, and I think that'll see him through as he runs down the back straight away, about to put a number on car 63, Kenny Baker from New South Wales. But the order, it's still the South Australian in Peter Evans, car 54. Fendyke sideways, Paul de Lacy clips him on corner number 2. And Cop, that he says, nowhere to go, finishing the job off nicely. ASCF Australian Super Sedan Car Championship for season 91-92, about to go racing. And yes, we get the green light, and off goes Peter Evans, hopefully into the distance here to take out the win as they exit corner number 2. Philip Paul, car number 12, the Victorian, on the inside. Possibly a big slide job on our hands, but no, Peter Evans is running mid-track. We've got Paul the Victorian on the inside, and Kenny Baker, the New South Welshman, still back there in 3rd position in the running. And behind him, the Pantera of John Hughes, who now has got a bit of pressure there because car 71, Bruce Tate, is right on the back push bar of the machine, and car number 88 also beginning to put in the big ones in Noel Reichstein, a South Australian. So the order with 5 laps remaining. It's Peter Evans, Philip Paul. In there we've got car 63 and Kenny Baker, John Hughes in 69, Bruce Tate rounding out the top 5. Peter Logan there just going on the inside of Noel Reichstein. But Reichstein fighting back with everything he's got in corner number 3. And down the main chute, can the South Aussie get there? He runs into corner number 1. And Philip Paul is right on his hammer and tack now, exiting corner number 2. But Peter Evans seems to be getting off the corners a little bit too well for our second place Victorian.
Certainly is. Peter Evans out there in front doing it well for Hall Mechanical and On Science. As you said, John, at the moment Philip Paul's just dropping back to actually Victorian car 12. Have a look at this though. Johnny Hughes is up there, could make a passing manoeuvre down that back straight. Only 2.5 laps to go. Let's have a look at it.
Yes, still out there we got Peter Evans, a slight bit of a push there in the front end, but now gets it back down, only narrowly avoiding the cement wall, and still the battle continues between Kenny Baker, John Hughes, and now joining the fray, car number 56 in Peter Logue down the back straight. So Peter for Team Valvoline getting right on the back push bar of Johnny Hughes, trying to get on the inside. The white flag appears, 1 lap remaining for Peter Evans, and Trevor Nucky, car number 78, unfortunate there for Trevor Nucky. He's slowing down. I think he's got a problem in the car. And car number 5, speaking of problems, Greg Wilkins, the Broken Hill pilot, slowed down on the main straightaway, but managed to keep it going. The checkered flags put it together now. Peter Evans, car 54, putting the win on the board, followed by the Victorian in Philip Paul. Behind him, Kenny Baker, car 63. The Pantera of John Hughes, car 56 is next in Peter Logue, followed by Noel Reichstein. Championship, Rocky Caruso, a South Australian, assuming pole position, getting power to the ground, the best of the rest, so to speak, down the main straightaway. Car 22, Gavin McKenzie, sitting into 2nd position. And behind him, we've got car 14, I think it is, up near the concrete barrier, trying to pick up the roof number. 1 car through there, sideways, and he's been nailed. And he's, car 65.
Here we have it, event 6 on your program, sponsored by Classic Class Cars, and we have a race out there from pole position, Rocky Caruso, and he's got a lot of traffic behind him.
Yes, car number 67 is right in there behind him as they prepare to go into corner number 3. Just having a look down, possibly 61, John Carty, the Western Australian. In fact, it is John Carty, car 61 in second. In there behind him appears to be car 34, Stuart Robertson from New South Wales. And behind him, car 41, Terry Reichstein, the Northern Territorian champion. Great to see him down there. And incidentally, Terry's got a bit of fiberglass flapping up. In fact, I think the bonnet hasn't been secured properly. Have a look, it's tearing back under the aerodynamic forces here. Car 41, I think, will be getting the black flag shortly if it continues to incur his vision down here. Let's check it out, corner number 3. It's Terry Reichstein, the driver, that we're all focusing the attention on here as he comes down the main straightaway. The bonnet on the car is effectively just flapping back under the G-forces here. Incredible stuff. And Brad Scotcher, now they had some motor problems here on Wednesday night. He's back there. He's the current South Australian Super Sedan car champion to round out the top 5, trying to make his way through the field. But SA number 11, Rocky Caruso, leading them in thus far. And behind him, the Western Australian hotshot, John Carty.
Here's Rocky Caruso doing a great job out there. 7.5 laps on the counter. Rocky Caruso for Auto Salvage Auction and Paul Salisbury Park. We've got a spin out in a big way. Western Australia 61.
Yes, John Carty down here. Just picking up the order, so that leaves car number 34 in there. Stewie Robertson, the New South Welshman, right on the hammer and tack of Rocky Caruso. A bit of dust. Robertson moved up on the inside, and Brad Scotcher has made it on the inside of Terry Reichstein. So Brad has been steadily moving his way up through the field. And behind him, we've got the Tasmanian car 72, Neville Harper. He's right up there battling, but the battle for the lead. This is where all the attention's being focused at this stage between Caruso and car number 34, who's clipped the gutter and almost spun in a similar fashion to John Carty. And Brad Scotcher, can we get the South Aussies 1-2 here in the national title, being heat number 6, being brought to you with the compliments of Classic Glass Cars. Scotcher on the inside, a big slide job possibly, but no, Brad is poking the nose in there, hoping to get by on the inside, and does so down the main chute. So good stuff from Brad Scotcher, driving for Mobil and Scotcher Petroleum. The Pontiac has been steadily moving his way through the field, and car number 11, Rocky Caruso, is out there with a 3 or 4 car buff, but anything could still happen with exactly 3 circulations remaining.
Here's Stuart Robinson trying to get that second place, that all-important second place back for Brad Scotcher, but I would suggest the South Australian, once he has that piece of track with about 2.5 laps to go, is going to hang on to it. All points at this stage, of course, to Rocky Caruso for Auto Salvage Auction. He's out there showing the rest of them the way to go. Good to see 1 and 2 for the local team.
Yes, JT, a point of interest, you'll see Rocky Caruso, Brad Scotcher, car 34, also up there, running mid-track. They're not running down low, the track's beginning to go black down low, but they're running mid-track. They're getting drive off the right rear tyres, similar to a sprint car, and that's the way these super sedans love to run, with the white flag being shown to Rocky Caruso. Just have a look, going in wide to corner number 1, getting a fair bit of traction in the right rear of the tyres, getting the power to the absolute ground as they circulate down the back straight. And car 34, it's definitely not over. Stewie Robertson right up behind Scotcher. The checkered flag been waved. Car 11, Rocky Caruso just getting through. Car 21, Brad Scotcher in for second, followed by car 34 and Brad Scotcher spun.
Stuart Robertson is a first-time visitor from New South Wales. Stu, is this going to put you behind the 8 ball for the championships this year?
No, not really. The surface is clay, and we're used to racing on clay. We do fairly well on clay, and the circuit is round, so it should go fairly well.
I believe you was 3rd in the Australian title a couple of years ago and 3rd in the Victorian last year, so this must give you some confidence.
Yes, the car goes fairly well. We do all our own preparation ourselves, so we hope to do well.
Okay, talking of the car, what sort of a car is it and what makes it go?
It's a Corvette, Chev Corvette. It's got a sprint car rear end under it and a sprint car engine, and it's very short wheelbase, only 96 inches, and probably the smallest car on the track. So we hope we can go around like a sprint car.
Stu Robertson from New South Wales, the very best of luck for these 1992 Australian Super Sedan Championships.
Thanks very much, and thanks to my sponsor for bringing me over here this time for Commercial Minerals. They did a fantastic job, and they're going to keep on doing it, I hope.
Okay, we appear just about set for the green flag. Heat number 7 being brought to you by Lane Print Group, the Australian Super Sedan Car Championship. And getting away, it's Peter Reeves, car 37, the Victorian. It stacks on the mill, Super Sedans, corner number 1.
Okay, event 7 on the program. It's Lane Print Group, sponsored by them, the Australian Super Sedan Championship. Heat 7, event 7.
Okay, Peter Reeves, car 33, the Mazda RX-7, getting getting away there remarkably well, going down the back straight away. Side by side, one car in a bit of trouble, hopping a bit of fiberglass, and the debris being left just in front of the West End beer signs. But it's Peter Reeves leading, car number 33, Nick Girdlestone behind him. Car 49, Benny Ludlow, one of the big Western Australian hopefuls. And car 64, Bert Vosbergen, also up there, sitting in 4th position at present. And behind him, can't quite pick up the roof number, I think car 45, Kevin Dan's the Victorian. So the order, it's Peter Reeves, Nick Girdlestone, Benny Ludlow being forced onto the gutter. Bert Vosbergen, one car sideways, Claude Mingy, car number 19, onto the infield. And gee, that's quite a struggle during a call to try and get through that one, but he makes it back out onto the racetrack into corner number 1. And Peter Reeves, car 37, showing the rest of the pack how it's done out here at Speedway Park. Running in mid-track, now running higher. We've had a spin, 45, it's Kevin Dan's. And cop that car number, for the roof numbers there again, I think Darryl Stagg involved. Brought to you by the Lane Print Group. 3 down, 9 up on the Coca-Cola counter. Peter Reeves, when he gets the power to the ground, the rest will jump. The green flag waves, and off and racing now, and Benny Ludlow immediately moving to the high line of the racetrack. Now cuts it back down, clipping the gutter. And the track beginning to go black in a few spots, and the drivers are reacting accordingly, searching for traction here. There's plenty of moisture beneath the surface, but with all the cars we've had out there, it's baked it down somewhat. So the order, Peter Reeves in 37, Ben Ludlow 49, 33 in there doing a great little job, Nick Girdlestone, and he's really got his hands full with Bert Vosbergen, car 64. Also in there, Kevin Dan's car 45, and number 17, not being disgraced at this stage, Gary Curran for Isley Insurance, and Jones Signs. He's also in there, performing quite admirably. And SA 39, Peter Drew, beginning to make some inroads on the drivers there in front of him. He's doing battle with Darryl Stagg, car 54, and attempting to go on the inside of Gary Curran. I think he's got there, Peter Drew, but no. Curran fighting back on corner number 3. We've got 3 wide as they exit corner number 4, preparing to come down the main straightaway. And Peter Drew, car 39, now trying to make the passing move stick. But I think Gary Curran's got the right idea. He's running up high, getting traction, but just as I speak, gets a little loose coming off the turn. And Claude Mingy, car number 19, has spun exiting corner number 2, but it's good to see he's kept it going. He's about to make it back out there onto the terra firma. But the battle for the lead between Ben Ludlow and Peter Reeves developing into an absolute cracker here, with Bert Vosbergen, car 64, in there for 3rd position at this precise moment in time. Also in there doing battle, Nick Girdlestone, car 33. And having a good little dice there with car 39, Peter Drew with number 55. Certainly not out of it. Having a look down at the list of drivers here, car 55 is the one I'm after, being Peter Garrett, New South Wales 55 for Titterate Engines. And picking up, the drama, car 17 has cooked it going into corner number 3 as the dust flies here at the park. So it'll be a yellow light situation with 3 or 4 laps remaining. Peter Drew, car 39, and Kevin Dan's car 45 also up there. We're waiting for the green light, and we get it, and car 49 immediately running wide. Will he go for the high line now, cutting it down tight, more or less Indian file type racing here. As the cars circulate down there, it's like a big 10-man freight train. As they circulate towards corner number 3, Ludlow still down low. There could possibly be a little bit of drive up high. We just have to wait and see now. I think Ben's got a bit of a sniff, but now cutting it down tight, I think, waiting for Peter to make a bit of a mistake. And at this stage, that mistake is not forthcoming, because Peter has got the car handling superbly to the track conditions. He's staying down low, not running up wide to give any of the drivers behind him the opportunity to sneak through on the inside. He's making them work, which is a sensible approach here. Nice and conservative. He's making Ben Ludlow stand on and take a bit of a risk in trying to go around the outside. And I don't think Ben's quite quite equal to the task here early on. He's not game to go up high, and with the white flag on display, the Victorian could get through for the money here, so to speak, with Benny Ludlow, car 49. Will he try the high line? Your guess is as good as mine. We've still got Bert Vosbergen, car 64, in there in third position with Peter Drew, car 39, rounding out the top four. But the checkered flag is about to be waved. Car 37, the Victorian, Peter Reeves through for the win, followed by 49 in Benny Ludlow, the Western Australian. Bert Vosbergen, car 64, 39 in Peter Drew.
Northern Territory's a long way to come for a Super Sedan Championship, but Mike Hanlon, you've made the trip down, and it's not the first trip down to Speedway Park.
No, we've been to Speedway Park before. I used to live in South Australia actually, but I've done a bit of racing in Darwin and Adelaide. It's a long way to come, but we like Adelaide and we're here for the experience.
And the vehicle looks like an IROC Z to me.
Yeah, it's an 88 Camaro. It was built in Darwin. It's quite a good car. We think it'll do pretty well.
Well, Mike, let's hope you get through those heats and at least make the final. And who knows, you could be up there at the finish.
Yeah, who knows. Yeah, thanks very much.
And we're back to racing, part of the Australian Super Sedan Championship. This is Heat 8, sponsored by Jeffrey's Garden Soils. Let's have a look what happens off the pole line. It wasn't a very good start for Mark Weaver. And every which way round into turn one. Of course, they've got to get used to the track, which is just a little slick after the grade in the water.
Yes, I think the drivers that have been able to read the way the track was turning out. Weaver's up near the concrete wall, but gets back down on the terra firma, stands on the gas with everything he's got now. For Fun City Go-Karts, it's Mark Weaver, and sideways and in the wrong direction on the track here, car 61, John Cardy, the Western Australian, and I think he's put pay to any chances he may have had of securing some vital heat points here. He's being shown the signal. I think he recognises that his race is run. But Mark Weaver, car 76, a Victorian, no relation to the motocross rider, is out there absolutely barnstorming him at this stage. Behind him, the Tasmanian Peter Aylett, and car 47, Stevie Stewart, rounding out the top three, followed by Ronnie Dalton, car 74, and making a big dive in corner number 3, it's Grenville Anderson, New South Wales, car number 10, a big turner speed, getting plenty of drive at the right rear. Keep your eye on him, a 3-time national champion in the Super Sedan class, and he is definitely going for it up there on the high side of the racetrack. Cuts it down, and Peter Logue running the left rear of Ronnie Dalton down the back straight, and the stewards, in their wisdom, deciding to bring down the yellow.
Okay, let's have a restart on this 12 laps once again, sponsored by Jeffrey's Garden Soils. Heat number 8, the Super Sedan Championship. And we've got Mark Weaver out there once again showing the way, taking that pole position and using it to the best advantage down the back straight. He's certainly got the power, and let's see what happens through turns 3 and 4. Once again, not taking them all that well.
Yes, Peter Aylett, car number 83, running a little bit wide in the 3-4 turn, allowing Grenville Anderson on the inside. And Stevie Stewart, car 47, the first of the South Australians. He's sitting in second position in the running. But keep your eye on car number 10, it's Grenville Anderson. As I keep mentioning, he's won 3 national titles after winning the opening heat race. He sits in third position, the number 3 Guernsey. And the way he's driving, one feels he is definitely catching Stevie Stewart. He gets a bit of a push. Anderson on the inside, down the back straight away. And a big slide job, but no, it wasn't even necessary. Just felt his way into corner number 3, and as a result, put the pass on Stevie Stewart, car 47, and 56, Peter Logue back there in 4th position. But Mark Weaver, car 76, has got his hands full. Check out Grenville Anderson, car 10, as he throws it sideways, gets a bit of a lurch there going into 3, and Stevie Stewart, car 47, not quite being able to run with the pace here that's being set by Grenville Anderson. He's setting our track absolutely alight here thus far, exiting 2. And Peter Logue, car 56, right on the tail of car 47 in Stevie Stewart, and could possibly get through in the closing stages.
Have a look at this. Grenville Anderson goes on the inside, takes the pole line down there and gets through to lead this event with 4 laps to go. Mark Weaver had him knocking on his door for quite some time. 1 and 2, Grenville Anderson and Mark Weaver. Good racing.
Yes, the racetrack has been cut, it's been prepared, and you can run just about anywhere out there, as I think Grenville Anderson is signifying as he blows a puff of smoke, but the IROC Z seems like the way to go. 2 starts, could it be 2 heat race wins on the board for the New South Welshman, and again a little bit of a puff of smoke. Gee, that really would be very unfortunate if a minor problem was to rob Grenville's hopes here. The car, it still seems to be sounding pretty well as he throws it into corner number 1. We've still got Mark Weaver, car 76 in second. Stevie Stewart, car 47, rounding out the top 3, followed by car 56, Peter Logue. Aylett sideways, spins onto the infield, and he has brought down the yellows. You with the compliments of Jeffrey's Garden Soils. Let's check it out. 10 down, 2 remaining, and the pace that the IROC Z has shown here tonight, definitely unmatched thus far as Anderson stands on it down the back straight away, and behind him still Mark Weaver, car 76, Stevie Stewart in 47, and he gets a bit of a push in the front end. The white flag has been shown to Grenville Anderson, car 10. Weaver still back there in second, looks pretty safe for second posse. Car 47, Stevie Stewart still trying to cover his tracks because he's got the dangerous Peter Logue. Car 56 right on the back push bar, as I've already mentioned a couple of times. Let's check it at the ready. Car number 10, Grenville Anderson, makes it 2 wins from 2 starts. 76, Mark Weaver with a big problem with the car.
Queensland sent down Ian Gabby Marshall. Ian, the VN Commodore looks very, very nice, but I notice that your seat and the cage is set right back. Is this legal?
Well, it certainly is. I could tell you that the reason for this is that I sit on the back tire to keep myself warmed up, but it's nothing to do with that really. It's just the fact that it's legal to sit back there in the super sedans, and we do it because the weight bias is much better for the car. Traction off the corner is the important thing, and that's why we do it.
Ian, you've raced here many, many times in this class and in the Grand Nationals. Last week, as a trial practice, how did it go? You seem to be inside more than outside.
Yeah, I hopefully had my share of troubles last week. I unscrewed a filter in the feature race and sort of pumped all the oil out, so I thought I'd better stop and watch everyone slide around on that. That looked interesting.
So how do you rate your chances in all seriousness?
Reasonably good. I was quite happy with the car. We've fine-tuned a little more, and I hope it'll be like I want it tomorrow night.
Okay, Ian Gabby Marshall from Queensland, we'll wish you the very best of luck for these Australian Championships.
Thanks, Mel. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope I can do the job. Thank you.
New South Wales 84 in John Pine.
Tell you what, Victoria number 1, Tony Grinstead, of course, defending his title. Very hard to beat here. This is event number 10, heat 9, Paul's tipper truck, and Grinstead out there and powering down the back straight. He's giving notice to the rest of them that this could be a repeat performance.
Yes, Western Australia number 1, Robert Gray, getting through early on the inside of Grinstead, pulls the car down low now, side by side down the main chute. It's Robert Gray versus Tony Grinstead, the Victorian going into battle with the Western Australian, and he's got there. WA 44, Robert Gray getting by on the inside, and Chad Johnson, another Western Australian, also trying to get by on the inside of Tony Grinstead, but Robert Gray is certainly trying to assert some real authority early on, has thrown the gauntlet out, and Tony Grinstead, the car is not set up, he's got a big push in the front end, and the chase is on. 2 Western Australians running 1-2, followed by a Victorian and defending champ Tony Grinstead, and Noel Reichstein rounding out the top 4.
Yes, Tony Grinstead certainly in a lot of trouble there. That car is sounding like an absolute peak. He's having trouble on all of the corners, just going high, but the advantage is between 2 Western Australians at the moment with 8.5 laps to go.
Okay, picking it up, exiting corner number 4. Robert Gray, your race leader, car 44. Grinstead runs on the high side of the racetrack and has effectively been passed by Noel Reichstein. Oh, Grinstead rides the right rear wheel and heads up for the concrete barrier. This really has been quite disastrous after starting from pole position, JT. And he now, no, I thought he was going to pull onto the infield. After starting from pole, when you can't nail those particular starting positions, when you can't get inside the top 3, you're really doing yourself an injustice. As Grinstead runs down the main straightaway, I think he recognises that his race is all but over as Gray comes down the main chute, and a good little battle developing here with his compatriot in Chad Johnson, car number 85. Graham Callan, car 42, after finishing in second position in his opening heat race, sits in third posse down the back straight. And this will be a pretty healthy point situation for Graham Callan, the Murray Bridge pilot. Down the main straightaway, we've got a charge for the lead. Johnson on the inside, but Robert Gray muscles his way. No, Johnson on the inside, and he gets there. So a gung-ho performance from Chad Johnson. And I think car number 31, yes, the Tasmanian Darren Kane, Tasmania 31, just rolling around the track, limping around the observers, or giving the signal to make it onto the infield. Let's see whether he can get down and keep the green light flowing. And Tony Grinstead has been lapped effectively. I think now a problem with the race car. The black flag about to be shown to Darren Kane, but Chad Johnson, car 85, absolutely out of the blue, coming up behind Robert Gray, car number 44. But we must remember, maybe Gray's running it nice and conservatively. He's won the opening heat race. If he finishes in second, he'd almost be atop the leaderboard, apart from the driver that we saw out there in the previous race, being Grenville Anderson.
Yes, very good tactics here. We've got the white flag out, and pity about Tony Grinstead. He was very lucky to ride that wheel and not go into the concrete barrier. Very good driving indeed. White flag.
And still Tony Grinstead rolling around the track trying to collect a solitary point here. I guess everything could be critical when you drop your worst heat result. So Grinstead can probably afford to drop this result. He's a lap or two down. I think he still collects a solitary point. However, the checkered flag, and he deserves a fair bit of appreciation. Chad Johnson, car number 85, comes across the finishing line. Fine display of pinpoint driving there. Car number 44, Robert Grafus, second. And third position, well, I think we'll leave that, thankfully, to the judges between Graham Cullen, car number 42.
Western Australian Ben Ludlow is over here. How do you rate your chances for the 92 title?
Well, I'm yet to finish a feature race here at Adelaide. I would like to make this my first feature win at Adelaide. It would be very, very nice to come over here. The hospitality given to anyone that comes visiting Adelaide is always second to none. So that's why we don't mind coming back and bringing our car home in pieces, but we don't intend doing that this time, that's for sure.
Ben Ludlow, the very best of luck, and let's hope we see you up in that victory dice.
Yes, I'd like to be there. Thank you very much, Mel.
Lacey and row number 6, Bruce Tate and Dave Barnett.
And we have a start once again with this car, Auto Mechanical Affairs. Heat 10, event 11, and Terry Reichstein taking advantage of that pole position out there. Now the back chute doing very well, but Greg Wilkins stuck in behind him. So 1 and 2 on their starting positions. Johnny Miller's got a little bit lost back in the pack, and as they come down with 1 lap under their belt, Terry Reichstein from the Northern Territory is showing exactly the way to go. And of course, car 21 also doing extremely well as well with Brad Scott. Oh, a pile up. Stacks on the mill.
Suit car 21, the South Australian, and Gary Cook, Victoria 28, also in there rounding out the top 3. Kerry McCarthy 29 in there. Number 5, Greg Wilkins. And running on the high side of the racetrack, Bruce Tate, car number 71, exiting corner number 2. The cars beginning to spread themselves out just a little bit. And we've got Terry Reichstein, car number 41, the Northern Territorian. The order, we've got Brad Scott right in there behind him, car 21. Gary Cook back there, the Victorian, and Kerry McCarthy having a pretty good dice with Bruce Tate, car number 71, and beginning to join the fray down there, trying to pick up the number. I think car number 67, having looked down in the program, possibly 27 in Paul DeLacy. We'll pick up the order a little better for you this time. In fact, it's car number 63, Kenny Baker, the New South Welshman, as he runs into corner number 1. Bruce Tate in there also, but the 2 front runners. Can Brad Scotcher make the breakthrough here, JT? Needs to try and put the win on the board. 8 laps remaining. Scotcher versus Reichstein.
He could do it, I think. Scotcher out there off and running beautifully. Scotcher patrolling, of course, is down the back chute, trying to get in front of the Northern Territory champion down into turn 3. That's the race out the front. And in 3rd spot, we'll pick him up for you. Victoria 38, Gary Cook. Have a look at this. Can Scotcher do it?
Yes.
Down into turn number 1, trying to tuck that nose in on the pole line. Down the back chute is going to tell all.
Yes, man on man, machine on machine. They've effectively got 1/4 of a lap lead to Gary Cook, the Victorian. He's the next place driver in 3rd position. And car number 63, Kenny Baker, beginning to make up some ground here on Gary Cook. Brad Scotcher tucking in right behind Terry Reichstein down the back straight. And Kerry McCarthy, car 29, holding on pretty well to be rounding out the top 5 at the moment, with Paul DeLacy, car 27, also up there. And car 71, Bruce Tate, not to be discarded, with Johnny Miller, car number 7, one feels just feeling her way around, with Greg Wilkins, car number 5, rounding out the field. Scotcher with a lunge in turn number 3. He gives Reichstein a bit of a nudge, letting him know he's there, and he'll try to come down on the inside. The front of the Pontiac just about wiped out by Reichstein, car 41, running the 1-2 turn. And we've got a couple of separate battles beginning to form. We've got Reichstein versus Scotcher, Cook versus car number 63 in Kenny Baker, and the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th positions
Scotcher,
respectively.
down the straight.
Getting through on the inside. Thank you very much. A neat little passing manoeuvre. Can Reichstein fight back now, JT? Down the back straight away, but no, Scotcher seems to have the legs in the motor. Remembering that Bill Webb and Darren Knowles have let in the sprint car motor to run here in the national title. The Pontiac is out there leading. The white flag is due next time around, and it's Brad Scotcher flying the South Australian colours high.
Yes, a very good passing move indeed. Brad Scotcher just set that up beautifully in turn 4, came into the main straight, slipped underneath the Northern Territory champion, Terry Reichstein. Scotcher a little bit messy through turn 4, has the white flag, just a half a lap to go to put full points on the board in this heat number 10.
Okay, Gary Cook, car 38, the Victorian, still back there in third position. But I know you've got to give him a big round of applause. South Australian champion, car 21, Brad Scotcher puts the win on the board there. Checkered Waves, car 41, Northern Territory champion, Terry Reichstein for second. Victoria 38 in Gary Cook rounding out the top three, followed by Ken Baker, New South Wales 63. Paul DeLacy, car 27. Kerry McCarthy, number 29.
Of course, our own Trevor Nucky. They're the starters for you in this Heat 11. Should be a good one. We've got the green flag. This is Heat 11. Cribs Auto Centre, Lindsay Park, event number 12.
Gee, car 39 almost appears as if it was scripted there for Peter Drew, the South Australian. Just stormed up the rails on the inside and to make it from position number 3 to be leading the pack going into corner number 1. Quite a feat here. He's won a couple of feature races during the 91-92 season and he's right on the pace here. Car number 53 in there, right behind him, Alan Baker from New South Wales. The Stein Earth moving of Moree. Oh, sideways, I think it's Daryl Stagg, the Victorian, possibly. Fully sideways, car number 58, in fact it was Daryl Stagg. Not a bad prediction there for Suburban Tony, could be needing him after that kind of action, but it's Peter Drew on the outside, car 53, Alan Baker pokes the nose on the inside, but no, the South Australian fighting back with everything he's got here, and David Nichols, after running second in the feature race last Friday night, is also right up there. This too could be very close to the race record of 3:19.5 that was set a little bit earlier by Grenville Anderson, but car 29, it's Peter Drew down the back straight with 53, Alan Baker right in there amongst it, and David Nichols rounding out the top 3, and in there behind him Tony Giancola, Mal Rosenzweig's friend, car 43, and car number 33 rounding out the top 5 or so, Nick Girdlestone.
Yes, you really have to give it to Peter Drew. He got a tremendous start there from position number 3 on the grid, hanging in there, but Alan Baker nudging, trying everything he possibly can for New South Wales. Car 53 for Stein, Earth moving Moree, and Baker trying to get past, but Peter Drew knows his track and what's going to happen down the back straight. He's trying the high road and not sure he can't make it.
Yes, we've got Alan Baker, as you said, JT, running wider going into the turns, but Peter Drew running mid-track appears to have him covered as they run the 1-2 turn and beginning to join in the 2-car tussle, making the 3-car freight train. We've got David Nichols, the Tasmanian, Tony Giancola rounding out the top 4 with the car just trying to pick up the number. Couldn't quite see the roof there. Car 39, still Peter Drew, your race leader. And the car that I was looking for, car 33, Nick Girdlestone from Murray's Race Cars and Parts in the 1-2 turn. Trevor Nucky, car 78, also back there. Number 2, Ivor, the engine driver, Ivor Beneke. 19, Claude Mingy, car number 4, Trevor Hammer. And number 58, Daryl Stagg, after losing it completely down the back straight. On the inside, Alan Baker. Peter Drew trying to hold his own down the back chute. Can he do it? He's got 3.5 laps remaining. South Australia's hopes are resting on Peter Drew, car number 29, as he exits corner 4. Baker's on the inside into corner number 1, but no, Peter Drew fighting back now, JT, and David Nichols is right on the hammer attack of Alan Baker now as they prepare to enter corner number 3.
This race has certainly had everything, Jono. We've got Peter Drew out there protecting that first spot religiously. He's doing it very well. Baker goes very, very high indeed. Almost lost that second spot. That went through pull out there. We've got 1.5 laps to go with Peter Drew down the back chute. This is a quick race. It has absolutely everything, as I said. Plenty of action. A 3-way tussle up here.
Yes, non-stop drama coming your way. The white flag out. A 17.00. 17.00 that time round for Peter Drew. The pressure is certainly intense. Half a lap to go. Baker running on the high side of the racetrack. Can Peter Drew hold his own? Baker now cutting it down low. He washes out wide, but Peter Drew getting home. The checkered waves only just. Car 53, Alan Baker in for second position, followed by car number 82, the Tasmanian David Nichols. But how close do you want it, JT?
One of the top drivers from Western Australia is Tony Giancola. Tony, you've come over here several times and taken away our big prize money. How do you feel about taking the prize money for these 92 Super Sedan Championships?
Well, I think the competition is a lot tougher this weekend. There's a lot more cars from all over Australia. All we're going to do is give it our best shot.
Tony, you've been driving long enough and you've travelled widely. You must have a lot of experience once you get down that track to give you a decent sort of a chance.
Oh, I think there's a lot of old buggers like me out there. They've probably been in the game a lot longer than I have. But some of the boys from further up the east, they drive a lot more than we do. They have a lot more meetings every week. But as I said, we go out there and give it our best shot.
And quickly, the car, Tony, what sort is it and what makes it go?
Well, it's an IROC Camaro. It's got a 350 in it. with a carby on it, and that's about it.
The other thing that makes it go is the driver, so the very best of luck. Let's hope we see you up in that victory dice, Tony.
Thanks very much. We hope to put on a good show for you.
Program. Heat number 12, sponsored by Marnie Harley in the Australian Super Sedan Championship. Let's have a look at it. Hughes certainly making good measure of that pole position out there, out and running, and in fact veering away from the rest of the field. A beautiful start from Johnny Hughes in the Scotcher Petroleum car.
Yes, it might be better if we hit the switch there. Michael Magorski, the Tasmanian, was back there rounding out the top 6 or so, running wide on the 3-4 turn. Has now been gaggled up by a whole heap of cars, and now finding himself tail end Charlie, but out there heading the field. It's car 69, Johnny Hughes in the Pantera. He's out there with a 3-4, maybe 5 car length buffer to Craig Vosbergen, car 68, the Western Australian, and Rocky Caruso, SA number 11, after getting right up there in the first round of heat races to be rounding out the top 3. A pretty good effort thus far. And in there behind him, Wayne Randall, car number 36, the Queensland driver, and Bert Vosbergen having a pretty good battle with car number 72, Neville Harper, who has done pretty well after starting from position number 11 on the grid, has just passed big bad Bert Vosbergen and made it into 5th position in the running. But the Pantera of John Hughes, car 69, from Mobil and Scotcher Petroleum JC out there, showing a clean pair of heels to Craig Vosbergen, Rocky Caruso, and Wayne Randall.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see what Rocky Caruso can do up against the second place car of Craig Vosbergen. Caruso knows this track, of course, if he can get that power down the back straight. But this race at the moment belongs to Johnny Hughes in car 69. Out in front, I think, just increasing his lead, getting those valuable points for the main one. 7 laps to go.
Yes, we pick it up exiting corner number 2. The battle for second, third and 4th positions respectively. An absolute rip snorter with Wayne Randall, car 36, attempting to go on the inside of Rocky Caruso, the Queensland pilot, right on the medal here. He's being shown the defect flag, funnily enough. We'll try and get some confirmation as to the reasons why. But Craig Vosbergen, Caruso on the inside, almost a bit of a sniff there for Auto Salvage Auctions. And Wayne Randall seems to be running in a fair bit deeper than the rest of the cars. Caruso heads for the wall, just saves it, no, clips the concrete barrier. I'm not sure whether something gave way in the suspension department or whether Rocky just got a little bit of oversteer there and was trying desperately to try and get the car back in a straight line, but it wasn't to be. John Hughes, car 69, in just a short time will be coming up behind car 57, Michael Bogorski, but car 72 now joining the battle, Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, trying to go on the inside of Randall. This time does so. They've hit exiting corner number 2, but they're still side by side down the back straight. Who will get the upper hand? Corner number 3 is where the action is. This time Harper going by on the inside, and Craig Vosbergen, car 68, still holding down a creditable second position.
Yes, I think Rocky Caruso was just pilot error, actually, John, having a look at it. As you say, oversteer and managed to keep it down from the wall, but that's put him way back in this race. Belongs, of course, to Johnny Hughes out there in front and running very hard indeed with 1.5 laps to go. Should have the points once he clears the flow of traffic.
Yes, he's got the big 36 points in his reach now as he enters corner number 3. All he's got to do is keep it nice and smooth. Let's hope that everything stays together. In the mechanical department, the white flag being shown to John Hughes. 3/4 of a lap remaining, and he can cover himself in the golden glory. Car 68, Craig Vosbergen, still holding down a pretty good second position. And car 72, Neville Harper, after starting from position number 11, has done a fine job. Put together South Australia. John Hughes, car 69, Di Tommaso Pantera, getting through and, in actual fact, bringing home the bacon. Behind him, car 68, Craig Vosbergen, followed by the hard-charging Neville Harper.
Okay, speaking of one of the South Australian hopefuls here, John Hughes. John, you haven't been able to campaign the Pantera very much during the 91-92 season due to other commitments here. A little bit apprehensive going into the title?
Oh no, we're just here to have a good race. We're pretty confident about the car. It's unfortunate this year that we got off to a bad start. We lost an engine the first night and really have lost most of the season. So this is about our 3rd meeting for the year. I'm a bit concerned that I haven't done enough laps, and I'm, maybe going to get a little tired, but apart from that, we're looking forward to a good night, and if we can, crack up a few points, we come here basically to win this race because, we just need it to boost our campaign a bit because of all the downs we've had, really, so we're pretty looking forward to it.
Okay, well, on behalf of all the South Australians, John, I'd like to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Man comes in, Kevin Bell, heat 13, sponsored by Road and Track Services, 12 laps. It's event 14 and the starter gets out of the way as Kevin Bell goes infield. And of course we have the caution. I've never seen anybody move so quick in all my life. They reached start on this. It's heat number 13, sponsored by Road and Track Services, event 14.
Okay, Tasmanian Darren Kane, car number 3, getting away pretty well into corner number 1. Right on his tail, car 79, Gavin McEachran. And in there, Johnny Leslight, I think it is, car number 81. Having a look down here, the New South Welshman for Noel Graham Farm Machinery. Exiting corner number 4 is Johnny Leslight, Gavin McEachran, Darren Kane in there, car number 3. And car 22 also in there, in Gavin McKenzie, as the whole field go down the back straight, and McKenzie now on the inside of McEachran. So the two Victorian drivers having a pretty good battle here, but down the main chute, the order, it's John Leslight, Darren Kane, McKenzie, car 34 now moving through in a bit of a blaze of glory. Stewie Robertson, another New South Wales pilot, and car 45 also in there, having a pretty good drive at this stage. Kevin Dans, another Victorian, with John Rodder, car 46, and number 9, Neil Windsor, I think a little bit out of his class here at the Nationals. So the 1-2 turn, Johnny Leslight, car 81, has been pretty consistent thus far tonight. He's got chasing him the Tasmanian Speedster in car number 3, that being Darren Kane, running the 3-4 turn with Gavin McKenzie, car 22, sitting back there in a comfortable 3rd position, but car 34 beginning to make up some ground now as he enters corner number 1 on the inside of McKenzie, getting power to the ground. Look out, Kane fully sideways down the back straight. And boy, oh boy, I think he's thrown away 36 very, very valuable points by taking out the race. Was out there, had a 3 or 4 car length buffer, and now gets back out there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position in the running. So he's gone from 1st to 6th in quarter of a lap. Very unfortunate indeed for John Leslight, the New South Welshman. But now this has left it wide open between Darren Kane, the Tasmanian, for GK Engines, and car number 34 in Stewie Robertson for Commercial Minerals and Magnetite Limited. He's right in there battling. He's got a sniff of victory. Let's see if he's equal to the task. He runs the 3-4 turn, tries to get it down nice and low as he stands on the accelerator with everything he's got here. Car 22, Gavin McKenzie, lurking ominously back there in 3rd position. Robertson on the inside, McEachran back there in 4th position, followed by John Rodder. And John Leslight, car number 81, trying to make amends. Tries the high line. Let's see whether he can put a pass on here. He's got John Rodder on the inside and Gavin McEachran running mid-track. But no, just runs up a little bit too wide there. The car set up a little bit too loosely. The track going off a fraction. Pretty slick here now. But running or exiting corner number 4. Coming down the main chute. 3 laps remaining. Stewie Robertson versus Darren Kane. Gavin McKenzie, car 22. Neil Windsor has been shown the lap flag. Wisely just stays up wide. Darren Kane almost bought, but gets it down on the inside. Just feathering the throttle, a spin. It's Johnny Leslight in front of the auto instrument sign. I think he's kept it going, but he's brought down the yellow. Hangs the donut, lock to lock. And he's just about to go racing again. Watch for the green, heat 13, the resumption of the Road and Track Services. Super Sedan Car Nationals getting away on the inside, Stewie Robertson. But Darren Kane has got him covered. 2 3/4 of a lap to go. Leslight running wide, has already passed 3 cars. Magnificent stuff from Johnny Leslight. Now down on the inside of McEachran. Oh, Kane's up near the Speedway Park Adelaide sign. Hits the concrete wall with a big loud thud. Now tries getting back down on the clean racing line, but Johnny Leslight, a real comeback here, JT. Supreme stuff from the New South Wales. McEachran, car 79, is in strife. He'll try and get off the track. Maybe he'll attempt to circulate. No reasons why displaying the white flag down here. 1 lap remaining. As they run the 1-2 turn, Stewie Robertson, car 34, is now out there as he runs down the back tube. What's happened to our race leader? Where's he gone as we have a bit of a look? He's in all strife, of course. That was Darren Kane after hitting the concrete wall. It's all over the checkered flag wave. Stewie Robertson, car 34. Fantastic drive behind him. Car 22, Gavin McKenzie. But 4 marks must go out to car 81, Johnny Leslight.
Sponsored by Murray Parker Cranes, and we're about to get the green flag. We certainly do have that car 55 for New South Wales. Peter Garrett in there, and Bill Miller. Also, we've got a bump and scratch every which way. Once again, turn 1 taking out the players in this event 15. And this time we should have it. This is event 15, heat number 14, sponsored by Murray Parker Cranes, and Garrett is leading them in from New South Wales, doing a great job. Bill Miller behind him, and the other pink car back there as well, and Stephen Miller.
Yes, I think Sean Middleton, car number 95, having more trouble with the clutch in the car. does not seem to be engaging properly. They put a new clutch system into the machine in the past few days, and obviously taking a little while to bed in. And out there leading, we've got car number 65. It appears as he runs down the back straight away, trying to pick up the number. In fact, it's 55, Peter Garrett, the New South Welshman. But Bill Miller, car 77, hot on the trail down the main straight. Car 77, driving for Blur Alpha Auto Parts. And Stephen Miller, also one of the team cars there, rounding out the top three behind him. Car number 88, Michael Hanlow. And back in 5th position, car number 76, I think it could possibly be. Or maybe 86. We'll try and pick the number up clearly for you down the main straight. In fact, it's Peter Evans, car 54, and number 15, Stephen Triffett, back there in about 6th or 7th position in the running. And Anthony Mannion, car number 86, rounding out the field apart from the sorrowful car 94 of 95. Roof number 59 of Shaw Middleton, having a few problems getting through this now, but he'd be bitterly disappointed. The car not performing. He's won 2 feature races during the season here, JT, with the battle at the front between Bill Miller, car 77, and car 55, Peter Garrett, Veteran Engines and Valvoline, shaping up to be an absolute cracker here with Stephen Miller, car number 6, certainly not out of the running.
Yes, I think Bill Miller, if he can get the power down and get a bit of drive down that back straight, he's in a passing position, moving up now, but Peter Garrett, New South Wales, certainly has it all together. Peter Garrett, your race leader at the moment, New South Wales, car 55, followed by the Miller team, car 77, Bill Miller, and then Stephen Miller in car 6. It's a three-way tie up there in the front of this race at the moment. Can the pink cars get up into that passing position?
Yes, I think that's the question here, JT. Michael Hanlow, car number 88, rounding out the top 4 behind him. Peter Evans, car 54, a South Aussie, and Stephen Triffett, the Tasmanian, car 15, hovering right up the back push bar of Peter Evans' car, and 86, Anthony Mannion. Tail end Charlie with Shaw Middleton a lap down, roof number 59. So a 3-car freight train between car 55, Peter Garrett for Valvoline and Snap-on Tools, and Bill Miller 77. Stephen beginning to make up some ground. 3.5 laps remaining. Can the 2 pink cars do it? The South Australian hopes resting with them in this particular heat, being heat number 14. Proudly sponsored by Murray Parker Cranes, 3:19.5. The existing 12-lap record. This would have to be very close indeed. And the cars coming up behind Shaw Middleton, now car 95. And the track going off a little bit, noticing a bit of darkness beginning to appear through the surface. So maybe just outside the 12-lap record pace, who's to know? The white flag coming out the lap after this one. 2 up on the Coca-Cola counter, JT. Can the pink cars do it?
Yes, we've got the gravy train out there, the Garrett Miller team, and that's the way it could finish unless Bill Miller can get a little bit more power down and get into a passing position down into turn 3. Sweeping into 4, the white flag coming out, signaling 1 lap to go, and Bill Miller trying everything he can in a desperate last-minute line. It's just tucking the nose down the back chute. Not sure where he's got the run down there. Peter Garrett normally runs out, as he's done this time. Stephen Miller coming up into that 3rd spot.
Yes, well, we've seen Bill Miller salvage something from the depths of despair before, but not this time. The checkered flag waves. Peter Garrett, fine drive, car 55. 2nd, car 77, Bill Miller. And 3rd going to car number 6, Stephen Miller, with Stephen Triffett, car 15, the Devonport driver, street stocks, heat number 2. Let's see whether we can get a nice clean start. And yes, the green's been waved. Rick Vandermoskew's car 69 is on the outside. Inside running car 99, Alan Beaumain. 67, Jimmy Gibbs. 87, Alan Rutledge. 26, Rob Gowling up there in about 4th or 5th position. 3 wide down the back chute. Street stocks at their absolute best here at Speedway Park tonight. Running the 3-4 turn, Jimmy Gibbs runs wide, gets a slingshot down low, and check him out into corner number 1. It's Jimmy Gibbs, car 67, who takes over, asserting some real authority now as he exits corner number 2, stands on it down the back chute. Car 99, Alan Beaumain in 2nd position, and the battle for 3rd, car 69, Rick the Animal Skews. And he's having a tremendous tussle with Rob Gowley, car 26, with Alan Rutledge, number 87, in there doing battle with car 52, Garth Raymond. Wakery 41 in there doing a pretty good job. Corey Gibson for Wakery Tire and Mag. So the field pretty close still. Kimmy Cottrell, car 47 for Dilato, beginning to carve his way through the field. Behind him, a 3-car battle. We've got Brian Finlay in there. Car number 6 also, a Wakery driver, Michael Passmore for Phillips Racing Engines. But back at the head of the field, car 67, it's still Jimmy Gibbs throwing the gauntlet out, and the rest of the drivers behind him are simply not answering the call. We've got Alan Beaumain, car 99, sitting in second posse. And the number 3 Guernsey being given to car 69, Rick the Animal Scouse, at this precise moment in time, with Rob Galloway, car 26, rounding out the top 4. Car 52, Garth Raymond in there battling. He's got a bit of a sniff there. He wants to try and make it into 4th, maybe even better. With 3.5 laps remaining, this would also be very close to record pace. Car 38 pulling onto the infield. Having a look for the list of starters, car 38, possibly Greg Goodfellow. His race is run, but our race leader, Jimmy Gibbs, car 67, making his way down the back straight away and appears to be home and hosed at this stage of proceedings. Into corner number 3 he travels. Alan Bowe made a bit of a moment down the back straight, but managed to recover in car 99, 69, Rick Scouse, as he runs a 3-4 turn, exiting corner 4 just about now. The pressure is certainly pretty intense there. Rob Gowling in 26, Garth Raymond 52, Ian O'Daniel car 51, and car 71 just pulling onto the infield, Brian Donegan for Fran's Patchwork Quilts. But the white flag about to be shown to Jimmy Gibbs, car 67, as he motors down the main straight here at Speedway Park. 430 metres is all that he has to travel to put the win on the board for event number 16, the Patches Bitumen. Rock'em Sock'em Street Stocks heat number 2. We started with 8 laps. Quarter of a lap remaining. Alan Bowe made car 99 in for second at this stage with 69. Rick Scouse still rounding out the top 3. However, it's all over. This race has been run and done. Car 67, Jimmy Gibbs for the win, followed by car 99, Alan Bowe 69. Rick the Animal Scouse will be pretty rapid getting in for third.
Important as Johnny and Super Sedan Championship, the national title. This is Heat 15, sponsored by ROH. We do have a star.
Okay, getting away into corner number 1 pretty quickly. Car 34, Stewie Robertson sliding straight into the wall, but now the car hooks up. And Peter Drew, the South Australian, he's the catalyst now as he scoots down the back chute. Car number 39, he's out there in the lead. Behind him, Stewie Robertson, the car's up near the wall. Peter Reeves in there, the Mazda RX-7. And I think his car would definitely suit the conditions out here, JT. At this stage, car 17 in there doing battle. In Gary Curran, all the cars running very wide indeed. Curran all sideways, Peter Brook around the outside. But it's Peter Drew versus Stewie Robertson. Johnny Leslight, car 81. And 2 separate groups already beginning to form. The cars getting a bit of a push. They're set up a little bit tight early on. The cars, or the drivers, manhandling these cars lock to lock as they run the corners. Car 34, Stewie Robertson running the high line, getting plenty of traction in the right rear. A fine passing manoeuvre indeed now as he makes it into the race lead. Peter Drew, car 39, still back there in second. And Johnny Leslight, car 81, after finishing third last time out, will be desperate to try and make it into the top 3 once again. And he's doing that pretty well, running up near the wall. The cars do not seem to be able to get down on the pole line, JT. Running high, wide and handsome.
I tell you what, it's like the old sideshow, wall of death.
Yes, definitely the high road to China approach coming into play here. All the guys now, Peter Drew getting down on the mid-track line, trying to find some traction. Peter Reeves, car number 37, up there rounding out the top 4. The Victorian Speedster driving for Valvoline Australia and Johnny Dino Engines. So he's doing pretty well. And we've got Peter Brook, car 65, currently sitting in 5th position in the running with car number 17, Gary Curran in behind him. Car 41, Terry Reichstein, and smoke coming out of Peter Drew's car. Let's hope nothing terminal. Car 39, we've got a bit of smoke from Peter Drew's car, so a bit of a sensation. Let's hope he can finish off. 6.5 laps still to go, possibly an oil line, but as I said, let's just wish, JT, fingers crossed that it's a minor problem and we've got a fire coming from under the car. A flame, the car's lit up from underneath there. Let's just see what goes on. I think the fire, no, we can still see the glowing yellow light. The car's about to line up down the back chute, so we'll need the women for wheels. They can hear us on the infield. Peter Drew's car number 39, it should be a caution. The car's about to line up out on the racetrack. He's being shown. Gee, you'd have to have hot feet out there, JT, in the firewall, and the car, he slides it down. He's about to make an exit. Okay, green flag waves a resumption. A half race distance, 6 remaining, 6 down. We've got Stewie Robertson on the inside. Johnny Leslight, car 81, the New South Welshman on the outside. Side by side, Leslight getting the traction from the right rear. And now making into the race lead, we've got car 37, Peter Reeves, with a bit of a push in the front end, running the 3-4 turn. And back there in 4th position, Peter Brook, car 65, with Gary Curran, car number 17, back there, sitting in 5th position in the running. Terry Reichstein, car 41, rounding out the top 6 or so, with Daryl Stagg, car number 58, back there, tail end Charlie. So the racing continues, minus Peter Drew, car number 39, the South Australian Leadfoot, after running pretty consistently so far tonight. He'd be a little bit disappointed, but hopefully they can get the problem sorted out. He was in a similar boat as Kerry McCarthy a few weeks back in the big Super Sedan show. but nevertheless, he can drop his worst heat result, and hopefully we'll see him back out in the next heat race trying to make amends for that. But it's car 81, Johnny Leslight, your race leader, running into corner number 1. 2 3/4 of a lap remaining. Good to see the high line coming into use here. And let's just check out the New South Walesman style. He's running in wide, but Peter Reeves running in deeper than the cars in front of him. Just doesn't seem to quite have the speed coming off of the corners. The Mazda RX-7 working overtime as Johnny Leslight, car 81, exits corner 2. 34-inch Stewie Robertson, 2 or 3 car lengths behind our race leader. And the same distance back to our third place together at this stage being Peter Reeves, car 37. And Peter Brook back there, but the white flag has been shown, so it's 430 metres remaining for Johnny Leslight to put the big 36 points on the board. And boy, doesn't he need them after finishing third in the second round. But at one stage, it looked as if he'd be right at the back of the pack. Showed great fighting spirit. The checkered flag at the ready. John Leslight, car number 81. Fine drive indeed. Car 34, Stu Robertson for second, followed by car 37, Peter Reeves, 65, Peter Brook, 17, Gary Curran, and 41, the Northern Territorian in Terry Reichstein, with one more car to come through, car 58 in Darryl Stagg. Nice clean start here. Michael Hanlon, Philip Paul, the Victorian. Let's go racing for Pizza Hut. Heat number 16 fires into action. Corner number 1, the Victorian Philip Paul for Selby Travel Towers. A big push, washes up near the wall, taking car 72 with him, Neville Harper, the Tasmanian. But now Paul trying to get back Michael Hanlow, getting all sideways as he exited corner number 2, just clipping the back of another car. And Robert Gray, Western Australia number 1, roof number 44, scorches down the main straight and cruises into corner number 1. He's got clear racetrack ahead of him. Stephen Miller, car number 6, a fair way back in the field. Car number 88, Michael Hanlow, rounding out the top 5, with Philip Paul, the Victorian, for Selby Travel Towers, currently sitting in second position, with car 72, Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, sitting in third position, and he's being hotly pursued by car number 64 at this stage in the running, being Big Bad Bert Vosbergen, all the way from Western Australia.
And showing how to do it is Robert Gray from Western Australia. I think he's got this car set up exactly right for the track. Knows how to get drive up high. And car 72 a little bit earlier taken very high against Paul Neville Harper. Out and running with 8.5 laps to go in this national championship with Robert Gray, Ducati Racing Components from Western Australia, the leader.
Yes, shaping up to be Robert Gray benefit here just a little bit, JT. He's even got a license plate on the back of the car. An immaculate sight. They must spend so much time preparing it. I've mentioned it before. They've got the onboard telemetry on the dashboard. They can bring the car back in after a heat race, hook the computer up, and it will give them a full analysis how the motor's revving, how hot the car actually got. And then they can make their own analysis of why they think these particular things happen. It's a very professional unit, and we wish them all the best of luck here at the national titles. Running the 3-4 turn, WA number 1, roof 44. It's Robert Gray down the main chute, half race distance, 6 remaining. The battle for second between Neville Harper and Big Bad Bert. An absolute screamer here, JT. Bert on the inside. Neville Harper running the high line. Who can get the upper hand side by side down the back chute? And car number 88, Michael Hanlow, has just gone screaming into the concrete barrier into corner number 1. Very unfortunate same place both times round, but we're ready for the green flag in the start this time. And let's do it with heat number 16, the resumption, proudly sponsored by Pizza Hut. We've got 6 up on the board. Robert Gray getting away. Bert Vosbergen, car 64. Neville Harper, car 72. He's settling back into third position in the running, but the battle for fourth between Philip Paul, Noel Reichstein, and Stephen Miller, car number 6, shaping out to be a pretty good dice here down the main straight. Gavin McKenzie, car 22, and still Sean Middleton circulating around the track. One fills for a solitary point or two, but still car 44, Robert Gray out there with a 3 or 4 car length buffer to Big Bad Bert Vosbergen, the Western Australian charger down the main chute. Car 72, Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, occupying posse number 3, Reichstein, car number 18, in there battling for 4th position in the running. And behind him, car number 6, Stephen Miller, for Blair Ethel Auto Parts, a little bit subdued out there so far this evening. Coming down the main chute, picking up the order, still Robert Gray, Big Bad Bert back there. One feels that if he wants to get through for the 36 points, he's got to do it now. But the way Robert Gray's been driving, the setup, the driving talent, it all seems to be just coming together on the right night here for Robert Gray as he stands on it down the main straightaway in front of us. Running the 1-2 turn, the dry line beginning to form down about mid-track. I noticed Robert Gray getting good power to ground ratio, running down low, virtually the pole line on 1-2. Running mid-track on 3-4, however the white flag at the ready. car 44, Western Australia's own Robert Gray. He's only got to get through 3/4 of a lap. He could take out the win for heat number 16 of the national title. 64, Big Bad Bird Vosbergen still in second. The order should remain pretty much the same. Apart from the battle for 4th position, Stephen Miller through on the inside. Skates up into the wall, Noel Reichstein back down. So a fiercely contested battle with Stephen Miller just getting through there to take home 4th position, followed by Noel Reichstein, with the top 3 being Robert Gray, Bert Vosbergen, and Neville Harper for mine, of course. Yes, car number 87, John Brown, the New South Welshman, it appears has made it into second position in the running, so he's really cruising out there. He's put the car into overdrive. Chad Johnson, car 85, copped the shunt from behind, but will he try and get the car back out there on the racing track? Of course, we saw Chad create the new 12-lap record here for the Super Sedans last time out, but now he's tailing Charlie. I think maybe a problem with the car. No, he begins to get back on the racing pace now. I think it'll take him a good half a lap or so before he gets things sorted out. And no, he has got a problem. He's pulling up in the concrete wall, so how fortunes can really waver here at the national titles at Speedway Park. 33 is your race leader, Nick Girdlestone, the New South Wales pilot. Behind him, car number 87, Johnny Brown, driving for John Cain Industries. In 3rd position, Paul DeLacy, car number 27. Behind him, car 15, Stephen Triffett, the Tasmanian, and Tony Grinstead, defending champion, the Victorian. Back there, sitting in a comfortable 5th position. Now beginning to make some inroads on Stephen Triffett's little buffer that he's got in front of Grinstead there. 78, Trevor Nucky. 21, Brad Scotcher. Now, he's a fair way back in the field here, JT. He'd definitely be hoping to try and pass a few cars before the event's over. Okay, picking up the race leader, the 3-4 turn, and still car number 33, Nick Girdlestone down the main chute, this time past the judges, 6 down, 6 remaining. Car 87, Johnny Brown, making it 2 in a row for the Northern Territory, New South Welshman, I should say, as they come down into corner number 3 once more. Port Lacey, car 27, back there, Western Australia's own Port Lacey, I might add. And behind him, Stephen Triffett, car number 15, with Tony Grinstead, Australia 1, back there behind Stephen Triffett in the running, with Trevor Nucky, car 53, being Alan Baker, and 21, Brad Scotcher, engaging in a 3-car tussle. Look, he could just about throw a Derna quilt over the pair of them, the trio, I should say, with car number 33, still your race leader exiting corner number 2, Chad Johnson, car 85, and a fair bit of strife going into corner number 1. This would also be very, very close to race record pace here, JT. We've got car number 33, your race leader, coming down the main chute now. Exactly 3 laps remaining, and I can't see the order changing apart from the battle behind Tony Grinstead between Nucky, Alan Baker, and Brad Scotcher.
I agree with you there. Nick Girdlestone has taken this race absolutely by storm. Nothing's got in his way, so the race record could be very, very close indeed. The track looking perfect.
Yes, Chad Johnson, car 85, still circulating, the white flag due next time round. So Tony Grinstead, car number 1, after starting from pole position and backing up somewhat last time out, is trying to put a number on car 15, Stephen Triffett, the Tasmanian. However, the white flag about to be shown. We've got Paul DeLacy, Western Australia, 27, up there in 3rd position. 4th being Stephen Triffett. 5th, Tony Grinstead. 6th at this stage, 78, Trevor Nucky. 7th position being given to Brad Scott at 21, but the checkered flag's been waved. Gee, what a nice little drive there. Car number 33, Nick Girdlestone, the New South Welshman. Good stuff indeed. Behind him, car number 87, John Brown, his New South Wales compatriot. 27, Paul DeLacy for 3rd, followed by Stephen Triffett, Tasmania 15. And page number 5 of your program, definitely one worth looking into. Okay, we're about to go. The lofted yellow flag situation, JT, take us through the start.
Let's have a look at this. It's Heat 18, sponsored by the Parade Settlers. Event number 20 on the inside, car 43, Tony Giancola. Have a look at that on the outside. There's Ben Ludlow. There's no love loss up there. Giancola puts the foot down as he knows what to do in the west, and certainly got it made up here into turn 3, into 4, but he's not going to have it all his own way. I think John's right. We could see a new record behind him, car 49, Ben Ludlow. What a race.
And And Bobby Brewer, car number 52, currently sitting in third position in the running. Looking for a big slide job on Benny Ludlow into corner number 3, but no, just backs off wisely. So it's Tony Giancola, car 43, coming past the judges. 2 down, 10 remaining. Ben Ludlow, car 49, also from Western Australia. In second, car 52, we've got Bob Brewer, the first of the New South Welshman, occupying position number 3. And back there behind him appears to be the Tasmanian. I think Darren Kane possibly, as he comes out of corner number 4. Have a look for you, car number 31. In the starting list, Darren Kane, the Tasmanian, for Hotel Taruna and Union Seaway. So he's back there in 4th position. And then a bit of a gap back to Peter Aylett, I think it is, car number 83. Also when they're doing battle, car number 28, one of the Victorians in there, 38 I should say, Gary Cook off Suburban Towing, and he's having a nice little dice there with Kerry McCarthy driving car 29, Gavin McEachran in 79, and rounding out the field, Tasmanian David Nichols. But the pace being set at the front here, absolutely electric. Tony Giancola down the main straight, leading the field, car 49, Benny Ludlow in second, 52 back there. Bob Brewer is really starting to get on the pace here of the 2 leaders, and we've got a 3-car tussle on our hands with almost 6 laps to go. Ludlow on the inside of Giancola, exiting corner number 4. He needs to put the win on the board after a DNF earlier on, and he's a wily old campaigner. He'll try every trick in the book to try and get past Tony Giancola and Bob Brewer back there, just waiting for any one of these cars to make the slightest of mistakes.
I tell you what, Tony Giancola's car becomes very, very wide at this time of night, and Ben Ludlow's doing his absolute best to get in that passing position. He's going to be very careful, though, with Bob Brewer just sitting back there waiting for either the 2 of them to make a mistake. Not likely. Have a look, Brewer down the back. He just may be able to tuck in. But certainly Ludlow closes the gate. We've got a lot of smoke coming out of
Peter Aylett's car, yep.
outside of Tasmania there.
Okay, so picking up the battle still Bob Brewer, car 52, exiting corner 2, poking the nose underneath Benny Ludlow. Can he get there? That's the question with 3 laps to go. In 4th position, Darren Kane, car 31, the Tasmanian. Peter Aylett, the car, sounding very, very sick indeed. He'll try and circulate just to pick up a solitary point or 2. But 31, Darren Kane, the Tasmanian champion, rounding out the top 4. And chasing him, Gary Cook, car 38, the Victorian. And David Nichols, car 83, beginning to make his way through the field. And Kerry McCarthy, car 29, not accustomed to driving in the Tony Howlett entry with McEachran, car 79, back there behind Kerry. But it's Tony Giancola with 1 and a bit laps remaining, JT. Can he get there? He's got the pressure. It's certainly coming thick and fast at him between Benny Ludlow and Bob Brewer. I think he's equal to the task. As they run the 1-2 turn, exiting 2, it's still Giancola, car 43, 49 in Ben Ludlow, and 52 in Brewer McCarthy. The suspension very sick indeed. I think a flat left front tyre, but the checkered flag just getting in for second. Benny Ludlow, 49. Car number 43, Tony Giancola, representing Western Australia, taking the win. Of course, being unofficial. And car 52, Bob Brewer for 3rd position, followed by 31, Darren Kane. Okay, get ready for the start now. The green flag at the ready. And off and racing, and as you would expect, Grenville Anderson. And let me tell you, if anybody can crack the 3:19.5 mark, it's this man, the New South Welshman, already 1 corner of a lap in the lead. Car 71 in there in 2nd position at this stage, being Bruce Tate, the Victorian. Car 55 beginning to make his way through the field. Peter Garrett, the New South Welshman, also. And behind him, John Rodder, car 46, with Craig Vosbergen, car 68. In there, Rocky Caruso has already passed 2 cars, with John Hughes in the Pantera a little way back in the field. Neil Windsor, car number 9, tail end Charlie. But it's Grenville Anderson. I think I'll get the stopwatch on him, David McNabb, as he flies down the back straight away in absolutely scintillating form, preparing to run the 3-4 turn, the IROX E. And after tonight's heat racing, I'd have to tell you, Grenville Anderson is my hot tip to take out the national title. The car sounding absolutely superb as he hurls around the 1-2 turn. He's already got half a lap lead on the entire field. Car 55 in there behind him, being Peter Garrett, the New South Wales pilot. Just coming through now, the time of 15.780. 15.78. Thank you very much, Grenville Anderson. Absolutely honking across the terra firma now. He's certainly got the checkered flag in his sights. And let me tell you, if he keeps this kind of a pace up, he will go well under the 3:19.5 mark. 2nd position, it's car number 55. And we've still got Peter Garrett driving the Tedder Engines Valvoline entry. 3rd position, a tremendous dice going on between Rocky Caruso, Anthony Mannion, and also in there Craig Vosbergen. Car 71, Bruce Tate not to be outdone. And this is interesting on incident. Corner number 2, we've got the Pantera of John Hughes has been involved. Okay, thank you, Mal. So we're just about to go the lofted yellow flag situation. The green waves, and again it's Grenville Anderson getting away remarkably well. Throws the car into corner number 1. Car 55 in there behind him. Peter Garrett for Valvoline. Snap-on Tools and Greater Newcastle. Newey and Beth getting behind this particular driver. Craig Losbergen, car number 68. The car's in a little bit of trouble as he circulates very sedately. So the order, we've got Anderson in there, Peter Garrett, car number 11 in Rocky Caruso, 46 in John Rodder, behind him 69 in John Hughes, car number 9 Neil Windsor, and Craig Losbergen, car 68, one feels just circulating for the sake of picking up a solitary point or two. And the point I would like to emphasise here as he cruises down the back straight, it's Grenville Anderson. You watch him just throw the car into the corners. He's getting it to really drive off the right rear wheel. And that's really what it's all about. He's got it leaning over. He's using plenty of stagger. Throws it in there. The car hooks up. And it's just cruising out of the corners. And I think we saw it with Neville Lance, the Western Australian. Did not drop a heat race during his 1992 Speed Car National title bid. But we saw it was very unfortunate. Bad luck was to rob Neville off taking it out, but full credit must go out to Phil Harine, nevertheless persisting. I think he still may have taken the title anyway, but we've got Grenville Anderson out here, has won a heat race or two, has been looking in phenomenal form as he exits corner number 4. 2 laps remaining, and a battle for second beginning to erupt here between Rocky Caruso in car number 11 and 55 in Peter Garrett, the New South Welshman. So can the South Aussie do it? That is the question that I pose to you as he exits 2. Stands on it down the back chute, runs a little bit wide. Is he trying to square up Peter Garrett? Yes, I think so. Moving down on the inside. Caruso's got a sniff. He gets it sideways. Lock to lock. Look out, the officials. Thank you very much. Total dedication from John Dawson. Rushes back out to the edge of the track. The checkered flag waves. And car number 10, Grenville Anderson, puts another win on the board. Next being car number 9, Neil Windsor, 55. In Peter Garrett, Neil Windsor, of course, being a lap down. 46, John Rodder. 69, John Hughes getting through for 4th position. He'd be happy with that. Anyway, you are the winner of the Coca-Cola Treble. You can pick up your prize from the front office. Mr. Alan Conway, winner of the Coca-Cola Treble here tonight, but heat number 20 roars into action. The green flag waves and getting away pretty well into corner number 1. It's car number 53, issuing pole position, and that's Kenny Baker, New South Wales 63, KW Baker Painting Proprietary Limited, and Ronnie Dalton, car 74, I think it is. The big calendar, this being brought to you by Dean Qualman Motors, heat number 20, event 22 on the card. And it's action again, car number 63 in Ken Baker has spun. And let me tell you, the John Dawson and David Ray down here, the 2 officials, one of them in a checkered suit, the other with badges on the white shirt. And here, watch for the green. We could be under racing situation. We get the green, Alan Baker, or Ken Baker, I should say, getting mixed up. Car 63. A little slow to get away, leaving car number 61 out there as your race leader. Car 61, as I mentioned, being John Cardy, the Western Australian. Bill Miller, car 77, the first of the South Aussies thus far, beginning to carve his way through the field. Behind him, car number 2, Ivor Beneke. Car 56 for Team Valvoline being Peter Logue. 47 in Stevie Stewart up there. And rounding out the field, car number 74, Ronnie Dalton, the Victorian. Stewart on the inside of Ivor Beneke. The 2 old sparring partners going one-on-one again out there on the racetrack. No love lost between them out there on the terra firma, but great fends off the track nevertheless. Peter Logue on the inside of Bill Miller gives him a bit of a shunt, allowing Ivor Beneke sideways, and Stevie Stewart cops a shunt from Ronnie Dalton. A pure racing incident, and we've brought down another caution period. So Hardy Racing components behind him. We've got car number 63 in Kenny Baker as the green flag drops, and Bill Miller, car 77, rounding out the top 3 in the early stages. Behind him, we've got the hard charging car number 56 in Peter Logue. Ivor Beneke filling position number 5. And rounding out the field, car 74, Ronnie Dalton. 1 or 2 cars getting a little bit sideways, namely Johnny Cardy, car 61. He's got plenty of pressure there because car number 63, being Kenny Baker for KW Baker Painting Proprietary Limited, is really driving pretty well here, running the 3-4 turn. Behind him being Bill Miller, and he's just about cooked it there. Car 63, Kenny Baker, but gets it back in a straight line, and now we've got John Cardy beginning to pull away just a little bit as he makes it down the back chute. So the battle for second, we've got Bill Miller in there battling with Kenny Baker, Peter Logue in there, also Ronnie Dalton. And I have the engine driver, car number 2. I think a little shy of laps going into the national title. But one thing's for sure, as smooth as silk down there. Ivor Beneke, a 16.77. Still nowhere in the vicinity of a 15.78, if you can believe it. 15.78 seconds for Grenville Anderson out there a couple of heat races ago. Really was flying around the 430-metre oval here in Adelaide at Speedway Park. But going into corner number 3, it's John Cardy, car 61, exiting number 4. And still in there in second position, the blue car, it's car 63, Kenny Baker. But the South Australian on a real charge, it's Bill Miller, car 77, driving for Blair Arthur Auto Parts. Can he get by on the inside? There's plenty of racetrack here, that is for sure. He could possibly run the high line. Peter Lowe, car number 56, in there behind him. And also Ronnie Dalton on out of it, he runs wide. And Bill Miller on the inside passes into second position. So he's looking at a pretty healthy point situation if things remain as they are. But Peter Logue is right on his hammer and tack as they enter corner number 3. And still Kenny Baker, car 63. Well, he's now been relegated from second to fourth position in the space of one lap. And 74, Ronnie Dalton back there running out the top 5, followed by Ivor the engine driver, car number 2, Ivor Beneke, who incidentally has taken out an Australian Saloon Car title, our race leader. All loose there coming onto the main straight, and he's pretty lucky he hasn't got any drivers right behind him there because he got all out of shape coming down on the main straight. Car 77, Bill Miller, has got Peter Logue still right back on his clacker now as he makes it into 3. Down the main straight, the white flag appearing, and it's car number 61, John Cardy, the Western Australian. He's led from go to 1. We've got 77, Bill Miller in second. Can he hang on for second place points here? Absolutely critical. Logue pulling up on real close now as they run down the back. Should getting a little loose. Car 61, John Cardy accepts the checkered flag. Bill Miller, car 77, covering his tracks pretty well. Second position, followed by car number 56, Peter Logue for Valvoline. 63, Kenny Baker. 74, Ron Dalton type fashion. He will be showing the black flag with the white stripe through it, indicating that he will be racing under process, but this time we get the green. Heat number 21 is well underway, and one car sideways, that being Ronnie Pine, car number 3, Greg Wilkins in there doing battle, but it's Harold Brennan, Victoria, car 67, the Craig's Towing Service leading them round. Second position, Trevor Hammer, car number 4, and car number 48, Danny Amato, the Victorian, battling with the Murray Bridge pilot in Graham Callan, car number 42. Back there behind them, we've got car number 45 in the running, Kevin Dance for AB Metal, and Newline getting behind that particular driver. Ronnie Pine in there doing battle, rounding out the top 6. The field bunching up, exiting corner number 4. Trevor Hammer for Blair Arthur Auto Parts. At this stage, the first of the South Australians, but Graham Callan, car 42, is right behind him, and one feels has got a sniff of second position. And he's been a driver to really impress me in the past couple of weeks. Graham Callan, car 42, V8 power, but this time he's trying to get on the inside of Trevor Hammer, and one feels the outside is the way to go. This time running mid-track because car number 48, Danny Amato, up and over. It's a roll in the sedans. Can't pick up the number. A solid red light situation. That was quite a nasty incident. I can't see it from here. I'm watching my Panda video replay. And again, full marks to the women for wheels quickly onto the scene. So a hair-raising incident down there into corner number 1. I caught it out of the corner of the eye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've just received official word from the manager here at Speedway Park. We will be running this heat race because of this kind of an incident field event. We'll be running this at the start of the program here tomorrow night, this being heat number 21, because we've got to take every precaution necessary to try and ensure that the particular driver involved is A-OK. Having a look down here at the program, as I said, I can't quite pick up who it is. Maybe Mal if we can cross down trackside, but let's hope he is A-OK. Quite a nasty incident. Yours trackside.
Okay, the driver is okay, a bit groggy obviously, the doctor's there, but he was helping to unbuckle himself out of the car, get out, so give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best ones we've seen here for a while. Thank you to our medical retrieval team, they've done a great job as well as the crash crew. So that's it tonight. Congratulations to all those winners tonight, and remember it gets underway again. Obviously John's told you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the final of the heats, the repechage, and the final of the Australian Super Sedan Championship.
Until then, I bid you all a very good night, and remember, Speedway's here on the track, not out in the road. Good night, everyone.
Speedway, the roar of the bikes and the cars. The race is on, smell the fumes in the air. The crowd comes alive, they're free to fly. Nothing like Speedway. Nothing like Speedway. Nothing like it. Nothing like Speedway around. Nothing like Speedway around.
Good evening, race fans. For Panda Video Productions, this is John Cobby welcoming you to the second night of competition of the Australian Super Sedan Car Championship for the 91-92 season. Recapping night number 1, and three-time winner Grenville Anderson has posted 3 heat race wins. South Aussie champion Brad Scotcher has posted a first and a second, and various other drivers have each posted a single heat race win. Okay, with 2 rounds of heat races, plus a do-or-die repechage, and the all-important 35-lap final still remaining, it's certainly going to be crunch time out there on the racetrack this evening. So please, fasten your seatbelts and get ready for the V8s to bark here at Speedway Park. Okay, speaking with 3-time winner of this illustrious event, Grenville Anderson. Grenville, you must be very happy with your progress, 3 wins from 3 starts.
Yes, I'm very happy. It's going very, very well. The car's very, very good. And we can't do much better than that, I guess, but I did have some lucky draws, and we'll see what happens tonight.
Tell me about the car firstly, and the motor beneath the bonnet.
It's a very good engine. It's built by Billman Performance in Brisbane. It runs about 550 horsepower, and every bit of horsepower I think it gets down.
And your impressions of Speedway Park here in Adelaide?
I think it's very, very good complex. They want to be congratulated. It's excellent pits, and it's just the track's really good. It's been good to us, and I think we're going to have a good time here.
And your sponsors, Grenville?
Yes, we've got Murray's Race Parts, a very, very good sponsor. Pennzoil, they put the oil in the engine, they help us out a great deal, and of course Billy Mann. And good thank you to the crew boys. They do an excellent job. Without them I wouldn't even be here.
Well, Grenville, on behalf of all the New South Wales spectators here this evening, I'd like to wish you the best of luck with 2 rounds remaining to try and put number 4 on the board.
Thank you very much.
The number 76 car of Mark Weaver, who did very well here in the South Australian Championship. Now looking for a way past Trevor Hammer as he goes into turn 3, and we can already see the drivers had the chance to get up there on the high line, and you can still get plenty of drive.
Yes.
Wayne Randall now also looking for a way past around the outside, and certainly showing John that it can be done.
Yes, absolutely. Plenty of racetrack out here, Paul. Wayne Randall on the inside, going for the slide job on Mark Weaver, car number 76. Let's see whether he can get the job done. Now going by on the inside. So the driver to watch, car number 36, Wayne Randall. He's the real chance early on. He's the Queensland competitor, and he's certainly out there doing a fine job to battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th positions respectively. An absolute rip snorter between Mark Weaver, Trevor Hammer in there, and Ronnie Pine. New South Wales, car number 3, running up very high on the racing line. Trevor Hammer down on the inside, and have a look at the clay being thrown up by the right rears of these tyres. Absolutely phenomenal, but down the back straight, we've got a battle royal going on between Graham Callan, car 42, and car number 36, that's Wayne Randall, the Queenslander. They're side by side down the main straight. Who will get the upper hand? We are about to find out. A slide job on the inside. It's Wayne Randall getting into position number 1, and now being relegated to the 2nd position in the running. It's Graham Callan, car 42. Trevor Hammer back there in third place at this stage. And Trevor seems to be handling the conditions very well, to say the very least. Ronnie Pine back there in 4th position, followed by Mark Weaver, and rounding out the field, it's Greg Wilkins, the Victorian.
I think one of the advantages I think Trevor Hammer in this heat has is obviously he is a budget racer and doesn't have a lot of horsepower. And with the track still a little bit damp at this early stage of the night, he's not spinning that horsepower way over the fence like a lot of the other competitors are, including Pine, who's in all sorts of trouble out there.
Yes, I think Mark Weaver's car number 76, something has collapsed in the right-hand suspension side of the machine. You can see it down, or the left-hand side, in fact, I should say, the left-hand rear corner of the car. Something's broken in the suspension area, but I've got the stopwatch on Wayne Randall, car 36, the Queenslander. He's exiting corner number 2, and he's gone into the wall. Something's broke on the car. It just turned right on him. That is extremely unfortunate. So it's Graham Callan to lead them in. We're just about ready for the green flag. And heat number 21 being brought to you by West Orange Dino. And in fact, we get the green flag, and it's Graham Callan gaining the early advantage here with exactly 6 laps remaining. Behind him, Trevor Hammer, car number 4, and Ronnie Pine, New South Wales, car number 3 for GK Engines. He's running the high line, keeping the foot into the bucket. Let's see whether he can put an outside pass on Trevor Hammer. But no, he can't seem to get the drive up there at this early stage. Greg Wilkins, car number 5, from Broken Hill back there in 4th position. And Wayne Randall, car 36. Now, I think Wayne is just circulating to try and collect some very vital points out there, Paul Ryan, because he's a fair way off the pace, but every point counts.
That's for sure, especially in these national championships, especially with a high attrition rate from Friday night and a number of competitors possibly unable to stay over. Wayne knows full well the importance of picking up points. Every last point counts if you want to make it through to that final.
Okay, 3 laps remaining. Graham Callan, car number 42, coming down the main straight right now. He would be very happy if he could just put the win on the board here as he exits corner number 2. Trevor Hammer, number 4, in 2nd position. And Ronnie Pine continuing the pursuit back there. He wants to try and make it into 2nd position. He's been trying the high line throughout the race, and now moves right up into the left rear corner of Wayne Randall's car, but now getting the power back to the ground as he enters corner number 1. A bit of a push in the front end, and I think the way the drivers set their various machines up to handle the track here, particularly early on, Paul, is going to play a major part in their finishing results. With 1 lap remaining, the white flag's on display. If you can just set your car up to handle the conditions, you'll certainly be going in a straight line. And I think Graham Callan, car number 42, has definitely had the hot setup out there, or at least it has appeared so. Running the 3-4 turn, the South Australian coming down, the checkered flag at the ready. Graham Callan, car 42, drawing first blood on the second night of competition. Number 4 in Trevor Hammer for Werther Auto Parts. Now, Trevor would be very happy with that result. Okay, thank you for that. Watch for the green flag, event number 1. About to get underway, second night of racing. David Nichols on the outside. That's South Australia's Stevie Stewart, car 47 for Dry Creek Auto Wreckers. He's on the inside. Grenville Anderson, car number 10, getting a little bit sideways. And currently standing 5th in the standings. As we just told you, it's Bill Miller, car 77, back there in 4th position. So the track a little bit greasy early on. And I think this will suit Stevie Stewart because he loves to run down low and get the car off the turns. But we've got Grenville Anderson, car number 10, back there in 3rd position, and he's currently in hot pursuit of David Nichols, car number 82. Back there in 4th position, Billy the Kid, car 77 for Werther Auto Parts, and behind him, car number 52, I think the New South Welshman in Bob Brewer, with Johnny Hughes, car number 69, bringing up the rear of the field very early on, but still a long way to go. 9.5 laps remaining, and at this stage, the early pace setter being Stevie Stewart, car number 47, but between Grenville Anderson, David Nichols, and Bob Brewer, the chase is certainly on.
Billy was going very well there, but Brewer looked to have found a way past. I think Steve Stewart is going to present a very, very wide rear of a car to the oncoming field, but they're not getting close enough to even look like challenging at the moment. There's a good sort of 1 to 2 car lengths. Still the gap, so Steve is doing a very, very good job, and I think, John, you're right, this track is suiting him so far.
Now, I just picked Grenville Anderson there with the raised right forearm, Paul. I think what he was doing was trying to block off the clay from hitting the visor, trying to preserve possibly his mud eater. Maybe the tear-offs, they really come into fashion here. And we see it again, the track extremely moist. And having a look, I'm not sure whether Grenville's actually got any more tear-offs left on the visor, because he's furiously trying to block off the oncoming clay from hitting the visor. Now, John Hughes, car 69, beginning to make his way through the field. He's already passed car 71, Bruce Tate, and Billy Miller, car 77. But at this stage, I'd say car number 82 and David Nichols definitely appears to be the real driver to watch, because Stevie Stewart's out there, and I've put the mockers on him, Paul. He's got all out of shape exiting 2, and Bob Brewer, car 52, moving up right on the back fender, entering corner number 3, with Grenville Anderson still lurking back there in 4th position, although John Hughes trying desperately to try and make it on the inside, and incidentally, John is using a mud eater, Paul.
That's right. I think the lose there by the Tasmanian driver is giving Stevie Stewart a very handy little breakdown, and it's really enabled him to skip away. It's going to be very, very hard to pick back from here on in.
Okay, the order. Stevie Stewart in 1st position. 2nd, 82, David Nichols. 3rd, 52, Bob Brewer. 4th position, car number 10, Grenville Anderson. 5th, 69, John Hughes. And in 6th position, car 77, Bill Miller. And rounding out the field, car number 71 being Bruce Tate, I think, the Victorian from Bruce Tate Motors and Auto Parts. But down the main chute, Bob Brewer, car 52, is in trouble. Bob Brewer, car number 52, is in a bit of trouble, and he's been rounded up by Grenville Anderson, John Hughes and Bill Miller respectively. But the battle is on with exactly 2 laps remaining. Stevie Stewart staying down low. I think the 2 drivers behind it coming on with a big charge, particularly Grenville Anderson, as he rips the tear off now going into corner number 1. Will he go for the high line? I'm not sure whether the racetrack has bettered him, but he's going down the inside. Grenville Anderson side by side with car number 82, David Nichols. Can he get by on the inside? And I think he's done so. So the white flag on display, 1 to go, but Nichols fighting back on the inside. A tremendous dice between Stevie Stewart, Grenville Anderson, and David Nichols respectively. Anderson on the inside of Stevie Stewart, who is certainly a very experienced driver. He'll try and desperately to block it, but Anderson's through. Could this be 4 wins from 4 starts? I think so. The checkered waves. Fine performance there for Grenville Anderson, making it 4 wins from 4 starts, and methinks that David Nichols, car number 82, got through there by a fraction from Stevie Stewart.
Leads the field in to greet the green flag, John.
Yeah, certainly does. Paul, the green flag waves, and getting away in the Pontiac, it's Brad Scotch with a first and a second. His 2 notable performances on Friday night. Brad's out there trying to assert some real authority, but he's got the Western Australian hotshot in Chad Johnson, car number 85, right on his hammer intact. In fact, he's on the inside and looking for a way to get through. Coming out on Main Straight, he gives him a bit of a shunt, and taking right on the wild side is Ivor Beneke on the 3-4 turn. Ivor has spun the car. I think we'll bring down a caution period, so bad luck there for Ivor Beneke, car number 2.
Very keen, hope to do likewise, go that 1 step further. But Scotch always makes good starts, and this one is no different.
Yes, absolutely. Paul, car number 85 in Chad Johnson, tucking in behind Brad now, attempting to go on the inside, but running out of room there. Exiting corner number 2, and he washes up to the Foundation South Australia sign and crashes into the concrete wall at a great rate of knots. Gold.
Scotcher brings him in now with Baker now. Has moved up on the outside. Scotcher brings him in through turn 1. Baker in second. Rocky Caruso's in third, and he's got a pack of West Australians right on his tail in Gian Cola and Tony Brook. Ivor Beneke bring out the rear, but Brad Scotcher certainly showing them a clean pair of heels at this stage. He's got 2 or 3 car lengths over Baker already, and extending that already as we're only 1 lap into this heat number 23. Rocky Caruso still holding station in third, followed by Giancola and Brook, as Ivor Beneke has more trouble down there in turn 2, having a spin, moving on the infield, and now looking to rejoin the race, or either pull. I think he's going to pull onto the infield, a bit of safe recluse, but it's still car number 11, Rocky Caruso, holding off that pack of Western Australians. Rocky certainly showing he knows his way around Speedway Park here in the ex-Steve Stewart car, but Giancola now really pounding on the pressure as they come to turn 1. Rocky goes a little high, he's left a bit of a gap. But once again, John, that track's showing you can go in that little bit higher. And I think we're going to see that more and more as the night goes on and still get plenty of drive.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Point of interest, Brad Scott just circulating, or I had him on my stopwatch at 17.39 on the previous lap. 17.39 seconds of Brad Scotcher. And again, incidentally, we saw Grenville Anderson circulating in the mid-15s here on Friday night, which is absolutely honking across the terra firma. So Brad's out there as he makes his way down the back straight. We'll get the stopwatch going again. Second position, we've still got car number 53 out there doing quite a fine job, the New South Welshman Alan Baker. And a fair way back in third position, it's Tony Giancola, car number 43, and Rocky Caruso, car number 11, now back there in fourth position. And chasing Rocky, we've got the Western Australian driver in car number 65, Peter Brook at this stage. But getting back to the order, we've still got Brad Scotcher out there. It's appeared it's been quite an effortless performance, and I can assure you Brad's just been feeling his way around, trying to keep the car in a straight line. He's trying to build around about a half a lap lead here on Alan Baker, car number 53, with Ivor Beneke, unfortunately, a lap down in the standings, but with 4 laps remaining, let's hope that the Pontiac and Brad Scotcher can steer it around and put the big 36 points on the board for taking out the event. Before I hand over to Paul, just coming down the back straight, a 17.06. Now the lap, yep, the lap. The lap times are coming down progressively here, Paul. We've had Scotcher coming from mid-17 to a 17.06, and as you said, Rocky Caruso spinning onto the infield, and this is a clear indication of how quickly Brad's going. Now he's getting through the turns magnificently. He's just lapped Peter Brook, car 65, who is in actual effect the 4th place getter in the field, so he's not mucking around out there.
He certainly isn't. It's a pity really for Brad that they don't have pit boards or radios or anything like that at Speedway, because with a half a lap lead, he really doesn't need to extend the car. With a 30-lap final still on the agenda later on this evening, he can really just cruise it in from here on in and still pick up maximum points.
Okay, white flag on display, half a lap remaining for Brad Scotcher, and then a 17.23, 17. .23 that time around, and we've got a fair bit of smoke from Scotcher's motor as he comes over the finishing line. Let's hope possibly an oil line, something minor, because he's got a fair bit of smoke blowing from the left-hand side of the car. Second position, unofficially, car 53, Alan Baker.
Fire in Scotch's car.
Now, Paul, we saw a similar situation here on Friday night with Peter Drew's car. The breather hose, the oil breather hose, actually dropped off of the car, and it leaked onto the headers and engulfing the car in flames. Peter's probably out there in the pit stand having a look. Brad casually making his way out of the car. The Women for Wheels fire and rescue team in there to assist the car. And again, it could be an oil breather problem, breather hose problem with the car. But nevertheless, Brad has still put the win on the board. And finally, the sun going down behind the grandstand and getting away. Stephen Miller, car number 6 behind him. Robert Gray, car number 44. The Western Australian #1 driver, and incidentally, Robert stood second atop the leaderboard going into this 4th round of heat races. Behind him, we appear to have car number 33, the New South Welshman, Nick Girdlestone, and behind Nick, car number 63 back there in Kenny Baker rounding out the top 4, and Joni Miller, car number 7, driving for Blair Ethel Auto Parts, rounding out the top 5. And Joan must have been very happy after Friday night in the opening round of heat races, Paul. Joan managed to finish second in the standings. A very good performance from a very fast grandmother out there on the racetrack.
Well, Kimmy, very, very pleased with her efforts, and even more pleased with young Stephen and Bill's efforts. Bill doing very well in the point score today, and her older son Stephen is really showing them a clean set of heels so far, leading the Western Australian Robert Gray in this spectacularly painted down on the WA1, wearing roof number 44.
Now, Paul,
Big moment there down in turn 3, but now gets back on the pace going down the back straight.
something very interesting about Robert Gray's car. We were speaking about it on Friday when John Tredorden was down. They've got onboard telemetry, a 17.33, just to interrupt, a 17.33 second lap time for Stephen Miller. But the Robert Gray team have got onboard telemetry. They bring the car in, hook the various components up. They can get a readout of how the engine's been revving and other minor details that really do assist the team beneficially in their attempts to try and set the car up. And it could be that fine tuning effort from the team that makes a difference out here, because he's won 2 heat races and going down the back chute, sitting in a very healthy point situation to be second at this stage. Nick Girdlestone, car 33, back there occupying posse number 3, and behind Nick, car 63, Kenny Baker, also a New South Welshman, with Joni Miller, car number 7, rounding out the field, currently sitting in 5th position with the lap flag about to go out. 5 laps remaining. Car number 6, Stephen Miller out there leading the field. Robert Gray second. Nick Girdlestone still back there, and he's about to go into heavy combat with Ken Baker, car number 63.
Well, it looks like we're going to have 2 heats in a row with the leading South Australian winning by well in excess of half a lap. Stephen Miller certainly showing them the way to go. Still 4 laps remaining. He's put a lap on mum in car number 7. So getting very, very close to a half lap lead now.
Yes,
over Robert Gray.
I've got the stopwatch on Stephen as he comes down the main straight with exactly 3 laps remaining, a 17.40, a 17.40. And obviously, as the drivers get more and more used to the hooky conditions out here this evening, the times will come down. The order still remaining pretty much the same. Stephen Miller, Robert Gray, Nick Girdlestone and Kenny Baker. But as Stephen Miller driving the Pontiac for Blair Arthur Auto Parts enters corner number 1, we can see a slight cushion beginning to form. I'd say almost the entire circulation here at Speedway Park, Paul, and it's roughly about mid-track. And I think later on in the night we'll be able to run through, obviously without a track grade, one feels. But Stephen leading, 1 lap remaining. And Robert Gray still back there, but I think Nick Girdlestone, car 33, the New South Welshman, beginning to put in the big ones. Could be making up a slight bit of ground, and Robert Gray getting all sideways. This will benefit Nick Girdlestone's cause as he enters corner number 1. Now he's moving up right behind Robert Gray now. He's getting power to the ground. We've got a bit of moisture exiting corner number 2 down on the gutter. And Nick taking full toll with the checkered flags wave. Take nothing away from Stephen Miller. He's taking out the event and narrowly hanging on. Robert Gray, car number 44, the Western Australian number 1. And behind him, car 33, Nick Girdlestone, the New South Welshman, with Johnny Miller a lap down. And car 63, Kenny Baker back there in 5th position. Race.
The start is really all important. You get a good start and it can really make the race for you. Cook brings him in now. And he gets a fair start, but Leslie looking to cut down from out of position 2, and it's certainly showing that there is drive up there on the high line as he makes his way around.
Yes, absolutely.
Down the back straight.
Okay, and we've got the stopwatch on Johnny Leslie for you. Khan Brady 1. Gary Cook still back there in 2nd position with Stewie Robertson, car 34, back there in 3rd position, being hotly pursued by car 22, the Victorian, in Gav McKenzie. So we've got 4 cars out there. And 4 very quick machines that they are between Johnny Leslie, Gary Cook, Stewie Robertson and Gav McKenzie. You've certainly got a whole heap of horsepower exiting corner number 4. It's Johnny Leslie coming down the main chute. 2 down, 10 remaining. And I think Stewie Robertson has got his sights on making it past Gary Cook in the 1-2 turn. But now Cook puts the power down and rips 1 or 2 car lengths on Stewie Robertson, who appears to be getting into the corners a little bit better. Look out, Gary Cook getting sideways. And a time for you, Johnny Leslie, 18.41. 18.41 for Johnny Leslie, of course, being unofficial. And Stewie Robertson has now been overtaken by Gav McKenzie, but now trying to fight back in vain after trying to avoid Gary Cook's sliding car on the previous lap on the 3-4 turn. So the order still Johnny Leslie with 4 laps down, 8 remaining. Gary Cook, car number 38, and Gav McKenzie, car 22. Back there rounding out the top 3 with Stewie Robertson, car 34, beginning to drop a fraction off the pace.
Cook's putting in a pretty good effort here. He came over to Speedway Park a couple of weeks earlier to try and get used to the track. He's certainly showing that he's putting in a pretty fair effort. Gavin McKenzie, of course, is no stranger at Speedway Park and has done very well here previously. That distinctive day-glow pink boxing kangaroo on the rear of the Commodore from the Geelong area. And he now has his sights set on rounding in John Leslie.
I think, Paul, a big factor here early on. Now, Johnny Leslie's not circulating all that quickly. He's in the high 18s at this stage, but in the early stages, and you can see it again there in Gary Cook's car number 38, he's getting a fair bit of a push in the front end. I think the car's set up a little bit tight here. Now, he's got the rear end to respond accordingly now, but again, coming out of the turns, he seems to be getting a big push in the front end. And Stewie Roberts, car number 34, being quite experienced, will try and capitalise on this kind of a push, but we've now got Gavin McKenzie beginning to put in the big ones with exactly 4 laps remaining. Let's see whether he can make an impression on Johnny Leslie's lead, car number 81. And again, to give you an indication as to whether or not the times are coming down. And McKenzie, yep, a flat right rear tyre for Gavin McKenzie, and that's real bad luck there for the Victorian. Circulating, he won't be able to make it onto the infield as the tyre has just about shredded over there, car 22. Now keeping us up to date from the infield and giving the green flag and catching Gary Cook and Stewie Robertson a little bit unawares that time was Johnny Dawson, and getting a big push in the front end. Now we can see a fair bit of moisture beginning to make its way through to the surface there, Paul, particularly exiting corner number 2, but so that's to be expected. And I'd say the highlight, particularly exiting corner number 2, could be the way to go. Now let's keep an eye on Johnny Leslie as he goes into corner number 1. Let's see whether he's running a bit higher there, and I think that definitely could pay dividends in the long run with Gary Cook, car 38, and Stewie Robertson still engaging in a ding-dong battle as they run the 3-4 turn. But our race leader car 81 from Noel Graham Farm Machinery. It's Johnny Leslight into corner number 1. He travels. Gary Cook, car number 38, still back there in second position, with Stewie Robertson getting off at corner number 2 pretty well, trying to go on the inside, and I think he's done so. So we've got Stewie Robertson now making his way into second position with precisely 1 lap remaining, and that's a pretty cunning move there. He ran up a little bit higher going into corner number 1 and had the momentum advantage, getting the car down nice and low, getting off at turn number 2. He's got his sights set on the leader, but I think it could be too little too late, I'm afraid, for Stewie Robertson. As the checkered flag at the ready, Johnny Leslight, car 81 from New South Wales, getting through for the win. Stewie Robertson, car 34, in for second, followed by Gary Cook, car number 38. So only 3 cars finishing the of the meeting here. Of course, Friday night saw all of the opening 3 rounds of heat races. Green flag waves getting away, car number 36 into corner number 1. That's Wayne Randall, the Queenslander, for Ian Vodka Motors. Mazda, Ronnie Pine, car number 3, has already been out there on the track. Paul Lacey gets a push, heads towards the concrete barrier. But again, both of these drivers running 1 and 2, Paul, have been out there in an earlier heat race, finishing off round number 3. So they'll have a bit of an advantage over the rest of the field, being Paul Lacey, Lachlan Jeffries, Trevor Nucky, and Greg Wilkins. Now, I think Greg was out there earlier on in the first event of the program tonight. So definitely the top 2 runners. And Ronnie Pine moving up. He loves a hooky track the way he's driving. The high line about to come into play. Ronnie Pine for GK Racing Engines about to go on the high line to try and pass our race leader in car number 36 in Wayne Randall. Who will get there? That is the question. 3 separate battles in one. We've got Randall going into heavy combat with Ronnie Pine. Lachlan Jeffries versus Trevor Nucky. Lachlan heads for the infield. And Greg Wilkins versus Paul Lacey.
Of course, Lachlan Jeffries having a run in an Oscar recently out at Adelaide International Raceway and put it himself rather well. Brought the car home in one piece, which can be half the battle in pitching oval track racing. But car number 36 is our race leader. Wayne Randall, the Queenslander, having a little bit of trouble, a bit of a push as he enters the turns, but he seems to have, you can drive around these things by just taking different lines until you find a way that it suits the car as it comes into the turn. Trevor Nucky is back into position 4. He's challenging Jeffries, but the car has been smoking badly very early on in the event. It might be a loose oil line or maybe some excess oil coming out of the oil reader, dropping on the exhaust system and producing that smoke. But certainly you could be a little worried. There'll be some worried crew members up on the pit stand for the Nucky team there.
Okay, just keeping an eye on Ronnie Pine, car number 3. He seems to absolutely throw caution to the wind each and every circulation out here at Speedway Park. Paul nearly runs in nice and deep into the corners, and as the track comes in, he will be one of the drivers to really keep an eye on, presuming that he makes the A-main. There's going to be plenty of drive out there, and in fact, as we speak, he's beginning to make up some ground on Wayne Randall, the Queensland race leader at the stage, with Trevor Nucky, car 78, still back there in 3rd position, followed by Lachlan Jeffries, car number 14, Paul Lacey, car 27, and Greg Wilkins, car number 5, rounding out the field. So we've got the stopwatch on Ronnie Pine, car number 3, the New South Welshman, as he circulates down the back straight. We'll give you an indication, an 18.06, an 18.06, and there's definitely a fair bit of drive just above the slight cushion that's beginning to form. And I think down on the pole line, you're not going to find too much drive down there. You've got to try and venture up, well, let's say 1 or 2, maybe 3 car lengths inside the concrete wall to look for racetrack.
Certainly a great battle here, and Nucky now, I think, looking to pull onto the infield there, but he's turned the car around, coming out of the pit turn. Green flag. And the Mazda getting away very sharply with Pine on his tail. And Lachlan Jeffries now looking for possibly a way underneath, but Pine is really challenging hard. Gives Randall a bit of a nudge there as they exit turn number 2. And he's fighting ferociously. Only 2 laps remaining when they come around this time. Can he make it through to the lead? He's desperate to pick up some points to rise further up in the point score. But Randall now has got a bit of a gap. Even bigger gap now. A lap, probably 2 or 3 car lengths. He exits turn number 4. Gets the white flag this time. Only 1 lap remaining. Lachlan Jeffries still holds station back in 3rd position with the Lacey 4th and car number 5 in Wilkins bringing up the rear. But Wayne Randall's going to take this one out. Comes down, gets the checkered flag from John Dawson. Pine through for 2nd. Lachlan Jeffries picks up 3rd. And that's a great result there for Wayne Randall.
Okay, speaking with the Northern Territory and Terry Reichstein, car number 41, how's your season been back in Northern Territory thus far?
Pretty good. We haven't been beaten too much, as you can see. We've got the one on the car this year again. I've been out of it 5 years. I got the bug back in again. Thought we'd come down and have another go.
And the car and the motor?
Yeah, running really well. We come out here Wednesday night, did 30 laps. Reasonably happy with the car, yeah.
Who do you see as being the main contenders as far as all the locals and the interstaters go from what you've seen so far?
Just about everybody, I think. It's going to be a tight one.
Okay, there you have it. Terry Reichstein, car number 41. I'd like to wish you the best of luck on behalf of all the Northern Territorian visitors here to witness the Nationals.
Thanks very much.
Might be tough to beat in this one, I think. Comes around, he gets the jump and leads them away. Into the first turn, Howlett holds station in second. But 72, Neville Harper's a very quick peddler from Tasmania. Driven here with great success, winning that Open Sedan Championship in a Grand National car.
Paul, I think one thing I must point out, Kerry McCarthy driving Tony Hallett's Falcon car 29, as Kerry actually blew the motor here in practice on Wednesday. And Tony, through his generosity, getting Kerry McCarthy the opportunity to hop in to a race car and compete here at the national titles. And I know that Kerry is very appreciative towards the entire crew of Tony Hallett's, of course, the Daytona Science Dulux Auto Colour entry. But Kerry's currently got car number 72 right on the hammer at this stage, being Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, and car number 4, Trevor Hammer, as Harper goes on the high line trying to pass McCarthy. Meantime, our race leader, Tony Grinstead, car number 58, Victorian, he's out there leading the field by about quarter, maybe a half a lap here. McCarthy still runs in second, Neville Harper rounding out the top 3, followed by Trevor Hammer, car number 4, and Dean McCarthy, car 23, beginning to come into his own in the middle stages.
I'm a bit loath to call on the other cars now. I think we'll call them by car number, and you can sort of fill in the drivers as the race progresses. But certainly, with a few laps, you can certainly see that McCarthy style coming back to the fore, really hurling that Falcon around and holding Neville Harper at bay, which is no mean feat in itself. We said a former championship winner here, but another former championship winner of the national status, and Tony Grinstead is showing the field a clean pair of heels. That car of the Darryl Stagg Suburban Towing car looking very, very competitive. Be interesting, John, getting some times on him now.
Yes, he's in the low 18s here, Paul, an 18.36 for Tony Grinstead, driving car number 58, an 18.36 second lap for Tony Grinstead. The battle for second, third and fourth positions continues between Neville Harper, car 72, Kerry McCarthy and Dean McCarthy, car 23 back there, bringing up fourth position in the standings, with Trevor Hammer, after finishing in second position earlier on tonight, back there in fifth position, but with four and a bit laps remaining. It's still driving Darryl Stagg's car, Tony Grinstead, a two-time winner of this event and defending champion, car number 58. McCarthy running mid-track, Harper in there, and Dean McCarthy trying to go down on the low line. The main straight is where the action is between McCarthy, Neville Harper, and Dean McCarthy.
I think Harper's a little concerned that he's been trying for a number of laps now to go around the outside of Kerry McCarthy, who now had a bit of a moment there in the turn number 2 and has dropped back. But Dean McCarthy turns it around in front of his brother. That's the last thing he wanted, after dropping a place to Harper and having his brother go by as well. It looks as if the Mazda may have given up the ghost. A bit of steam coming from underneath the hood, and maybe the RX-7 has come to a halt due to engine problems. Maybe Mal Rosenzweig can check that out for us. But that leaves Neville Harper away into the lead, and Kerry McCarthy now back in second position in the car number 29. It's the Daytona Science Falcon, owned by Tony Hallett.
In fact, Dean McCarthy had problems here on Friday night, Paul. I think the car catching a line similar to what we saw of Brad Scotcher here earlier on tonight. So very unfortunate there for Dino. However, the checkered flag's waved, and victorious, it's Tony Grinstead, car number 58, will be very, very happy to finally put some very productive points on the board. Coming through for an unofficial second position, the Tasmanian Neville Harper, car number 72. And third position, car 29, Kerry McCarthy, with number 4, Trevor Hammer, rounding out the top.
Okay, we're speaking with the Tasmanian Peter Aylett. Peter, how many times have you been here to Speedway Park in Adelaide?
I wouldn't have a clue, to be quite honest, but it must be a dozen by now.
And your impressions of the track here over the years?
Look, let's not mix words or meanings about this. This is one of the best complexes in Australia. The surface sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired, but we all have that problem wherever it goes, weather, and that's got a lot to do with it. But the complex itself, first class.
And can you tell me about the car you're running here in the national title, and firstly chassis configuration and also your motor?
It's just a Rayburn, the 350 Chevinon. It goes good. We'll soon, it's nearly testing time, of course, but there's no problem with the chassis at all. It's a Z28 Camaro. We're happy the way it's going, but 82 other guys here now's got the same deal of what we've got, and I take this opportunity to wish them all the best, especially Tony Grinstead.
Well, you've won a national title. Can you make it too?
Well, let's hope so. I've said before that if I win tonight, I am definitely going to steal the checkered flag. I've got a guy already set up over the back straight, but we've got to win it first, and other than that, they've got 81 chance in 82, and until we bounce the ball, we're in there, but we'll take what we can get.
Well, Peter, on behalf of all the Tasmanian visitors here to witness the Nationals, I'd like to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, and I'd like to congratulate the ASCF and also the RDA for putting this show on.
Getting underway, being brought to you by Cheviot Wheels, and it's Lee Edwards, car 73, leading them early, car 61 in John Carty back there in second position with Claude Mingy, car number 19, trying for the high line. Mark Weaver, car 76 for Fun City Go-Karts back there in fourth position with Sean Middleton, car 95 back there rounding out the top five, and Sean's being chased by number 9, Neil Windsor, and car number 41, the Northern Territory number 1 driver in Terry Reichstein. But now we've got Mark Weaver, and he's running the high side of the racetrack. Let's see whether it pays dividends as he moves right up behind Lee Edwards on the 3-4 turn. Should be able to get down low, exiting corner number 4. Just about gives him a nudge, but it's car 76, Mark Weaver, getting into the lead. And now he's relegated Lee Edwards, car 73, back to second position. The Western Australian entry in John Carty rounding out the top 3. Claude Mingy, number 19, has just spun off the track down the back straight, leaving car 95, Sean Middleton, in fourth position. And we have a yellow, so the stewards in their wisdom deciding to bring about a caution period. We're just about ready for the restart. Mark Weaver will lead them in car 76, this being Cheviot Wheels, heat number 28, heat 27, has been completed, as we said, with Tony Grinstead putting the win on the board. But it's Mark Weaver down the back straight. He's already opened up a 5 or 6 car length buffer from Lee Edwards, car 73. John Carty, the Western Australian driver, number 61, back there in about third position, followed by number 59, Sean Middleton. Number 19, Claude Mingy back there in position number 5. Number 9, Neil Windsor is the next driver, followed by Terry Reichstein, car 41, who I think is just taking it nice and gingerly around the circuit here. Paul, he's tailing Charlie at this stage, but he's beginning to make up some ground on Neil Windsor and Claude Mingy, the two drivers directly in front of him. But at this stage, it's still Mark Weaver, car 76, the Victorian, after finishing second in the South Aussie Super Sedan Car Championship here a month or two ago. He's out there and really asserting some authority over this field. We've got the stopwatch on him. John Carty certainly not disgracing himself in second position. And Sean Middleton, now he's desperate to try and put some points on the board after having a clutch problem throughout Friday night's heat races.
Yeah, apparently Sean had dreaded right throughout Friday night. He's unable to make many points at all, and he's going to be very keen to really get that mustard this evening. He has to, I would think, possibly come to the replica if he was to have a chance of making the final. But he's hoping to reel in John Carty. Still 6 laps remaining, so anything can happen.
Okay, the stopwatch on Mark Weaver, a 17.60, a 17.60 that time through. For Mark Weaver, car 76, a Victorian. The order second is still John Carty, car 61. Sean Middleton, number 59, back there rounding out the top 3, followed by car 73, Lee Edwards, number 9, Neil Windsor, car 41, Terry Reichstein, and number 19, Taylor and Charlie. Claude Mingy at this stage with 3.5 laps remaining. I'd say Mark Weaver, car 76, driving proudly for Fun City Go-Karts, would be pretty well home and hosed, running the 3-4 turn, beginning to come up to lap traffic, namely Claude Mingy, Terry Reichstein and Neil Windsor. But with 3 to go, the order looking to stay pretty much the same. The only change that I can see forthcoming could be between Terry Reichstein and Neil Windsor in car number 9. But with 2 and a bit laps remaining, it should be Mark Weaver, although he's blowing a bit of smoke here, and I guess we should say it is certainly never over until we see the checkered flag. And he's dropping a bit of water there, Paul. He's dropping possibly an oil and a water mixture. Now, we've seen this a couple of times with a few various cars, particularly on Friday night and now here. But with 1 and a bit laps remaining, Mark will be hoping dearly, and I know the crew would be, that he can finish off the white flag on display, and I think, yes, he's still dropping a bit of oil, possibly water on the track, but he's just lapped Neil Windsor, number 9, and he's coming out to put a lap on Terry Reichstein, car number 41, and he's coming through to take the checkered flag. Let's hope that everything holds together. Victoria 76, Mark Weaver, Fun City Go-Karts. That checkered flag wave, 41, Terry Reichstein a lap down, as is number 9, Neil Windsor. Car 61, John Carty through for second position, followed by car 59, Sean Middleton with...
Okay, we're speaking with New South Wales driver Ron Pine. Ron, how's your season been thus far back in New South Wales?
It's been pretty mixed, actually. We've sort of hit a lot of form of late. We've won a few good features. We've hit form at the right time. We started a little slow, but we've put sort of 3 or 4 back-to-back features together. We're running pretty hot, and I'm real confident.
How do you see, or who do you see as being the main threat as far as interstaters and some of the fast locals go?
Well, there's probably 80 guys here nominated. I think 60 has got every equal chance. This is the most competitive title I've contested in my entire career of 20-odd years. You know, I only am aware of the local. I'm not aware of the local contingent that run hot here. I look at the lap times when I come here. We done a little better than that the other night, so we're confident as far as the locals. But then again, you just don't read that. There's a lot of guys our way. Stewie Robinson, he's running pretty well. Grenville Anderson, well, he put 6 or 7 on the trot together. He's running real well. Les Light, he's always there in the end. There's a lot of guys. As I said, you know, no one's going to pick a winner tonight. No one's going to pick a winner until the last lap tomorrow night.
And your impressions of the racetrack here in Adelaide?
Mate, I've been to some racetracks. I think this is the best complex in Australia. The officialdom, I mean, it's overwhelming. I think you all ought to pat yourselves on the back. You know, I've had a good look. I come here on Monday and I looked right around. The track is good. The track is nice and drivey. I'd like the track to stay smooth because that will bring the best out of everybody. And if that can happen, we're going to see some darn good racing.
Well, you're a very professional outfit here, Ron. I'd like to wish you the best of luck for the national title.
Yes, thank you very much.
As Paul just mentioned, Grenville being put back to second position in round number 3, so he could still go for the win in this one and make it 4 wins, which would be the perfect score. So my apologies on that little matter, but getting back to the action, Bruce Tate, car 71, is a provisional race leader, with Terry Reichstein, car 41, attempting to run the high line. But on the inside, it's Ronnie Pine, New South Wales, car number 3. And Ron really coming to the fore here in the second night of competition of the Nationals. Car 58 being piloted by Tony Grinstead back there in third position. Number 4 being occupied by Terry Reichstein. John Carty back there, car 61. And it stacks on the mill, the 3-4 turn. John Carty, Grenville Anderson, Joan Miller in car number 7. Greg Wilkins, car 5, just missing the action. Go Racing, he's bringing them in nice and sedately and getting on the gas there. John Carty, Grenville Anderson also, and Ronnie Pine squaring the car up now, trying to get down on the inside, and he goes into the race lead. So we've got Ronnie Pine out there leading the field. Behind him, car 71 in Bruce Tate, with Grinstead into second position, with Bruce Tate washing up near the concrete barrier. So still Tony Grinstead in second posse, followed by Bruce Tate, car 71. Number 82 in David Nichols back there, battling for third and fourth position. And Grenville Anderson, car number 10, rounding out the top 5, followed by John Carty, car 61. Number 7 in Joni Miller. Also car 41 in there, Terry Reichstein, having a pretty good battle with car number 5 in Greg Wilkins.
That man Anderson certainly has big buckets of horsepower in that car. He's valiantly searching for a way past Nichols. Got a great start, but was blocked out by Carty. Still fighting his way through. Still 8 laps to go, but Anderson has shown that really, with only a couple of laps to go, he's made charges to come through to take the win. Certainly shown he is capable. And every possibility that he can make this his 4th win across the line. Have one taken away from him, but he wants to make amends.
Now that's the black flag of the white striping shown to Ron Pine there. Paul, sorry to interrupt, indicating that Ron has just made himself an appointment to have a bit of a chat with the stewards after this event. But just reflecting on the previous 2 laps, we've seen a rather heated battle here between Tony Grinstead in car 58 and number 3 Ronnie Pine. Now they've been engaging in a bit of heavy combat here, and it's pretty obvious that Tony Grinstead isn't mucking around out here. This would be his 2nd win from 2 starts out here this evening, so it's definitely all or nothing for the defending champion with 5 laps up on the Coca-Cola calendar. Ronnie Pye, New South Wales, car number 3 back there in second position, followed by car number 82, David Nichols, number 10, Grenville Anderson up there rounding out the top 4, followed by car number 61 in John Cardy, rounding out the top 5 of a 5-car freight train.
Certainly a tremendous battle here. Nichols looking for a way past Pine, and Anderson looking to do likewise, trying to look for a way past. And 61 Carney now dropping off that line of 4, dropping down to a line of 3, but that 3 is catching our race leader in Grenville Anderson with 3 laps remaining.
Yes, Tony Grinstead, car number 58. Now he got the stopwatch on him as he comes down the back straight. We'll give you an indication. An 18.58. Well, I figured it may have been a little bit quicker. The track beginning to bed in here at the park, but with 2 laps remaining, it's still car number 58 in Tony Grinstead. Oh, gee, cop that Grenville Anderson. David Nichols come into the left-hand rear corner and had nowhere to go. Spun going into corner number 1.
Have a look at Anderson. That panel of the bonnet starting to flap in the wind as he makes his way into turn number 1. Desperately hoping to find a way past Pine and put the championship challenge down on Tony Grinstead.
Okay, so the track beginning to run up slightly, exiting corner number 4, and the car's hovering around. Bits and pieces of fiberglass from Anderson as he comes in sideways. David Nichols, car 82. And how quickly Grenville Anderson has gone from here. Sedan Car Championship. 10 down, possibly next time round we could be just about set for the green. 2-time and defending champion Tony Grinstead to lead the field in, with Ronnie Pine giving him a little bit of a nudge there.
Okay, Grinstead leads him away. Got the jump on Pine. And Nichols coming into turn 1. Sprints away down the back straight in the Commodore. Comes around to get the white flag from the birthday boy, David Rays. There's trouble down, looks like Nichols in turn 3. Gets it very sideways, comes back onto the track now. Maybe something a bit bent in the car from the previous incidents and affecting the handling. But Grinstead now, Pine, desperate charge last lap, right up on his bumper. He bounces his way through the turn, but it's going to be the reigning national champion takes out the event. Pine in for second. John Carney, the Western Australian, in car number 61, picks up third, followed by Nichols.
Looks like we're just about ready for the green flag. Heat number 20 being brought to you by Champion Spark Plugs. Roars into life, and Mark Weaver, car 76 into corner number 1. Gaining the advantage here very early on. Neville Harper's been relegated to second spot in the running. And car number 72 being the Tasmanian. And Stevie Stewart, car 47, rolling around just inside the concrete wall. And eating a bit of clay, I'd say, is Stevie up there. The West Torrens Dino, when Dry Creek Wreckers down here, maybe he's having trouble trying to disengage the clutch down here. Maybe the car keeps jumping out of gear, but if he keeps circulating, I think he'll still get a solitary point or 2 there, Paul. And it would certainly be worth its weight in gold, although it must be very, very frustrating. And I'd say a little bit nerve-wracking rolling around like that. We're still 10 laps up in the Coca-Cola counter, and the rest of the field rocketing their way around the 430-metre oval here in Adelaide.
Yeah, I can't say I really want to swap positions with Stevie at the moment, especially with way sometimes some of the cars have been handling tonight. You only want a guy to get a very big push and move up towards the fence, and if you're sitting up there going at a snail's pace, you really don't want to sort of cop one up the backside. Maybe it's only a minor problem that Steve and the team feel that they can possibly fix before the final. So hoping just to pick up an extra couple of points just to hopefully guarantee a spot high up in the record charge or in the championship final. But the car had to be push-started before this event, so I suspect that maybe the crew were aware there was a problem, but just ran out of time to get it fixed before this heat number 30 got underway.
Okay, your race leader, car number 76 in Mark Weaver, the Victorian for Fun City Go-Karts. Second still being car 72, Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, with our third position driver at this precarious moment in time being car 33, Nick Girdlestone, possibly by memory. In fact, it's not, it's car 63. My apologies, Kenny Baker for KW Baker Printing. And he's applying plenty of pressure to Neville Harper, car 72. And the pair are coming out to put a lap on Claude Mingy, car 19. And back there in fourth position and driving pretty well tonight, I think, Paul. And I'm sure you'd agree here, Lee Edwards, car 73. going into the 3-4 turn. He's been just driving nice and sensibly. He's already posted a third, and if he stays where he is, he'll finish in 4th position, and that may in fact give him enough points to qualify for the final. Or I'd say he would be very, very high up in the starting order for the rapid charge. Coming down the main chute, 4 laps to go. Neville Harper and car number 63 having a very, very good battle indeed, being Ken Baker as they exit corner number 2. Who is going to gain the advantage? That is the question that I pose to you with 3 to go, Paul. How do you see the closing stages?
Well, Baker's really been all over the back of Harper throughout this event, taking a big slice of infield as he made his way out of the pit corner there. But Harper's just driving a very sensible race, a very sensible line, knowing full well that he can't bridge the gap up to Weaver, but holding a very, very tight line through the corner, giving Baker no chance, no room to find a way past. But 2 laps to go, Baker's going to be very, very keen to pick up on any mistake that Harper happens to slip up. But here comes our race leader. Second in this year's state title is Mark Weaver. Car number 6. Bit of water coming out of the car there as he entered the pit corner.
Was doing the same thing, I think, in the previous race. Paul, he managed to hang on and just take out the win. But if he can win this, that'll be his 2nd win tonight from, he thinks, 2 starts. And that'll be a fine effort here that would really put himself very high up in the standings. In fact, the checkered flag waves. This race has been run and done. Car 76, Mark Weaver first. Car 72 in 4th, 2nd position. And again, Tira can gain the advantage over the Pontiac into corner number 1. This is where the action is. John Hughes takes him up near the wall. Robert Gray trying to capitalise down on the inside. It's a race for horsepower. Side by side, neck and neck down the back chute. And Stephen Miller throwing the car in. But John Hughes staying down low. But now Stephen Miller in car number 6 driving for Blair Arthur Auto Parts has been able to really assert some much needed authority. He's still running a little bit higher than John Hughes on the racetrack, but he's already ripped out a 3 or 4 car length buffer with Robert Gray, car 44. If he can stay where he is, Paul Ryan will definitely be starting somewhere inside the top 5 in the big 35 lap final. Behind him, Lachlan Jeffries, car 14, Paul DeLacy, car 27, and rounding out the field, car number 9, Neil Windsor.
Well, Stephen Miller certainly shows he's well and truly on the pace tonight. Already picked up a win already in car number 6, the Blair Arthur Auto Parts machine. John Hughes, Stu's 2nd. Robert Gray looked for a way through when Hughes and Miller clashed in the first corner, but then a lap or so later had a big moment coming out of the pit corner. Lost a lot of time, so is now settled back holding station in 3rd position.
Yes, about to get a time for you on Stephen Miller, car number 6. Now, Stephen's already won a heat race tonight, so he's certainly pressing for a high starting position in the 35-lap final. And the right rear digging in pretty well, digging up some hunks of clay. As I say, we got the stop by John, car number 6. With John Hughes, car 69, still back there in 2nd position. A 17.05. 17.05 for Stephen Miller. The lap flag being shown to Neil Windsor, car number 9. And I think I could possibly get a lap time on John Hughes for you, driving the Di Tommaso Pantera with Robert Gray, the ever-consistent Robert Gray, car number 44, with the onboard telemetry. Back there rounding out the top 3, followed by Paul DeLacy, car 27. Number 14, Lachlan Jeffries, driving the white RXE. As Stephen comes by, we're about to stop the time here on John Hughes. A 17.21, so the majority of the faster runners out here at the moment, Paul, are beginning to run in the low 17s. A good sign, the track coming in, and I'd say in the next heat or 2 they should be getting down in the mid-16s.
Well, with the amount of water that's been poured into the track from the sky above in the last 5 days, as the night goes on, as you said, John, it's going to get faster and faster and faster. And by the time the final comes around this evening, we're going to be into some action-packed racing in that 35-lap final.
Okay, so we've still got Stephen Miller, car number 6, coming through to put a lap on Lachlan Jeffries. And an 18.03 second lap time for John Hughes that time round. But with 2.5 laps remaining, I'd say Stephen Miller appears to be, and I emphasise that, appears to be home and hosed. Now he's coming down the main straight. 2 laps remaining. He's about to put a number on Paul DeLacy, car 27, the Western Australian. Lachlan Jeffries a lap down. And John Hughes still back there. A 17.69 for Stephen Miller. A 17.69 second lap time. But the fat lady is definitely beginning to warm up now as Stephen goes into corner number 1. Exiting corner number 2, one senses that he's got victory in the bag. 2 more corners remaining with John Hughes still back there in second position, followed by Robert Gray. But the South Aussie about to put 36 big points onto his tally. The checkered waves and Stephen Miller through to unofficially win the event, followed by car 27 a lap down, Paul DeLacy. 69, the unofficial second place getter John Hughes, followed by Lachlan Jeffries, car 14 being a lap down. 44, Robert Gray, the Western Australian number 1.
Okay, speaking with Murray Bridge, car number 42, Graham Callan. Graham, to finish third in the feature last Friday night must be a bit of a confidence booster.
Oh, not really. The track down here changes fairly well. It's never real consistent for us. We just play it by ear. Car's reasonable, but it's not 100%.
Okay, well, have a good one.
Yep, no worries. Ta.
Okay, set for the green of waves, 12 up on the Coca-Cola counter. And getting away on the inside appears to be Peter Garrett, car 55, although Gavin McKenzie, the Victorian, trying to fight back as hard as he possibly can down the back straight. Neck and neck they're going into battle. And this being the Southern Cross Trailers heat number 32 of the ASCF Australian Super Sedan Championship for the 91-92 season. Let's get a time for you on our race leader, being Gavin McKenzie, car 22. 55, Peter Garrett still back there, occupying the only other position, as we've only got 2 cars out there. So I guess it gives them ultimately, one of them at least 36 points for winning the event. I think it goes down to 34 points for second position. Just coming through there, so a pretty handy point situation with this event, being Gavin McKenzie and Peter Garrett, the only 2 drivers out there. There's only about 3 car lengths between each of them, so they're doing it pretty easily. Not too much competition out there, but a good opportunity, perhaps if they tried a different setup out there, just to test it, to try some different racing lines, because they can afford the luxury of possibly running up a little bit wider on the racetrack, Paul, than they'd normally run, because there's really only 2 of them out there. And I'm sure they would be fully aware of this situation, but Peter Garrett now beginning to make up some ground. No relation to the Midnight Oil Singer, I don't think. Coming down the main straight, 4 down, 8 up on the Coca-Cola counter. And still Gavin McKenzie, car 22. He's your race leader down the back chute, with Peter Garrett, car 55, back there in second. And I guess we could say tail end Charlie position.
Well, it's really that they really have to run these 12 laps, because otherwise guys that are in other heats are disadvantaged, because if they didn't run this event, or if they tossed the coins for points with only the 2 cars, the competitors running in the other heats would have 12 more laps to run during the course of the night's racing. So these guys still have to run out those 12 laps, and we're about halfway through. Gavin McKenzie still leading them, and I would imagine enjoying the opportunity to, as John said, try a few different lines, maybe experiment with the setup. Pulled out probably 5 or 6, 7 car lengths over Garrett so far over the course of the 6 laps. 5 laps now remaining.
Okay, I've got the stopwatch on our race leader for you down the back chute. An 18.53 for Gav McKenzie that time through. So he's just taking it nice and easy. He's probably got the accelerator 3/4 of the way down to the boards as he steers the car nice and nice and sedately into corner number 1 with Peter Garrett, car 55. Let's say about a dozen car lengths back behind now, almost stretching out to a quarter of a lap. But Gav McKenzie, car 22, exiting corner number 4. Coming down the main chute with exactly 3 laps remaining on the Coca-Cola counter. 9 down, and Peter Garrett, let's see whether he can make any kind of impression on the lead that Gav McKenzie's got in the final couple of laps. The 3-4 turns, still Gav McKenzie running down on the low side of the racetrack, moving out to the midline now and staying in the mid-track line. A slight cushion I think we can detect beginning to form into corner number 1, ladies and gentlemen, incidentally, but halfway down the back chute, 1.5 laps remaining, and it's still McKenzie out there, the Victorian speedster, as he prepares to stand on the gas and come down the main straight, and he's still leading. The white flag has been shown. He'd be pretty happy with this situation. He'll pick up 36 pretty easy points by his own standards if he can just keep the thing together and point it in a nice straight line for 1/4 of a lap. Peter Garrett's still back there, car 55 behind him. So an uneventful, I guess you could say, lackluster heat number 32, but nevertheless it's been run and done, and car 22, Gav McKenzie through for the win, unofficially of course, and second position, car number 55 in Peter Garrett.
Away they go, and from the outside, Alan Baker gets the jump, leads Brooke through the turn. Miller back in third. Baker holding a slightly higher line as he fights his way coming out of turn 4. Just spent some time working on the Grenville Anderson car. Now step back into his own machine, the Ford Falcon, and leading Brook at this stage with Miller back in third.
Okay, picking up the action on the 3-4 turn, about to come down the main straight. Car number 53, and they're doing a fine job. Alan Baker in the lead. Car 65, Peter Brook in second position at this stage, with Bill Miller, car 77, back there in third position. Followed by number 85, Chad Johnson. Tony Giancola, number 43. Number 34, Stewie Robertson back there in sixth position as a tear-off or two trying in through the 3-4 turn. And back there, bringing up the rear of the field, is car number 38, having a look down, being driven by the Victorian driver in Gary Cook for Suburban Towing. But out there and almost all on his lonesome, it's car number 53 coming down the main chute right now. Alan Baker, Peter Brook, car 65, beginning to drop back a bit. And a good racing line there from Alan Baker that time in. Running wider now. He's effectively running over the cushion here, Paul Ryan. And again, it's the same line is almost coming into play on the 3-4 turn. Let's look again now. He'll run in pretty wide going into the first corner. There is definitely plenty of drive to be had up there. The right rear is working overtime on the respective race cars. Peter Brook still back there in second, with Bill Miller, car 77, looking at a pretty healthy point situation if he can maintain his third position in the running.
Baker's looked pretty impressive here this evening. Picked up a second, I think, in an earlier heat. Really showing the way in that bright yellow Ford Falcon. Johnson now looking to challenge Billy Miller. Got very close to him through turns 1 and 2. Miller holding a very tight line, gets a little sideways through the turns. A bit of a traffic jam starting to form there at the back with Miller, Johnston, Giancola and Stewie Robertson from New South Wales. Robertson takes a big slice of the Speedway Park infield in an attempt to get past the Western Australian champion Giancola. But it's certainly a freight train. They're starting to bring some ground back to Peter Brook, but there's no stopping Alan Baker, although, speak of the devil, he comes up under Gary Cook and gets very sideways. Cook shuts the door on him as Baker puts a lap on the Victorian driver, and that's the last thing you want to be brought unstuck. As Clark, of course, John Dawson comes unstuck on the infield, stepping backwards and trips over a clump of clay, gives himself a does down. First crash of the night for the man on the infield. It's Baker still in the lead. Peter Brook now looking to get past, put a lap on Cook. And trouble, Giancola spins sideways and is collected by Stewie Robinson, bringing down the yellow.
Laps up on the Coca-Cola counter and getting away car 53, Alan Baker. Behind him, car 65 in Peter Brook, with Chad Johnson, car 85, resuming his position with the number 3 Guernsey back there at this stage. Car 77, Bill Miller rounding out the top floor, followed by Stewie Robertson, car 34. In the meantime, one lap already going down the main chute. And Alan Baker still leading, car 65, Peter Brook back there behind him. But the battle, a whole hunk of clay being thrown, and Chad Johnson, car 85, trying to go down on the low line, with Bill Miller, car 75, back there in 4th position. They check the flag at the ready, car 53, Alan Baker through for a fine win. The battle for second, Chad Johnson, car 85, getting through unofficially before car 65, Peter Brook, 77, Bill Miller. Racing Middleton trying to get away in, Dussel on the inside. And again, it's on fire. McCarthy's car's lit up once again. He must be wondering what he's got to do. Pulling immediately down to the Women for Wheels people. So a big sensation. The car again lighting up. And poor old Dino McCarthy, the luckless Dean McCarthy, I might add. And he's pulling onto the infield. But the racing's still going. And it's Sean Middleton, car 59, attempting to put a vital 36 points onto his aggregate at this stage. He's out there leading by about 3 or 4 car lengths. Car 36, Wayne Randall back there in second position, followed by Rocky Caruso, car number 11, as Middleton gets it sideways but corrects it, and not enough time there. Wayne Randall through on the inside, but Sean holding firm there in the number 1 position. He's trying valiantly to take this one out. He needs the points. That is for sure, running into corner number 3 with Rocky Caruso, car number 11, back there in 3rd position. But it's still Sean Middleton for Hunter Engine Reconditioners, ROH Wheels and White Line Transport in the 1-2 turn. With 8.5 laps remaining, the pressure is certainly intense from Wayne Randall, and Rocky Caruso certainly not out of it.
Certainly the 36 Carl Brandler is very, very quick off the turns. Fights to find a way past Middleton, holding steady, trying to keep it very tight. Got the advantage in a straight line, but off the turns, the Mazda is very, very quick indeed.
Yes, it certainly is, and appears to be finding a very economical racing line, particularly down on the low side of the racetrack, with Rocky Caruso out there holding down position number 3 at this stage. Ironically, only 3 cars out there in the field, with car 59, Sean Middleton, still out there, the race leader, but 36 charging again up the inside, attempting to go off the rails with 6.5 laps remaining. Let's see what he can do on the 3-4 turn. But again, to the South Australian driver's credit, he's just holding nice and firm, holding down low, keeping it nice and smooth. He's effectively saying to Wayne Randall, if you want to pass me, you're really going to have to do it the hard way. You're going to have to run on the high side of the racetrack, because I'm occupying the mid-track to more or less the low line. And he's doing a pretty good job down the main chute. And interestingly, the black flag with the white stripe being shown to Wayne Randall for some reason or other. So he is in fact racing under protest, and we'll have to come up and see the stewards after the event. But it's still Sean Middleton, car 59. Randall now moving up on the inside. But still Sean hanging on grimly. He's grabbing the bull by the horns after many mechanical failures have robbed Sean from many points that he may have been able to pick up on Friday night's action. But after a 3rd position finish or so in his first heat here this evening, he's trying to really assert some authority by taking out this being heat number 34 of the Aussie title, coming by 3 laps remaining in a 3-car freight train between Sean Middleton, Wayne Randall and Rocky Caruso, as Middleton gets a bit of a push in the front end. But now the rear end of the car reacting accordingly as he stood on the accelerator with everything he had. And again, Wayne Randall is challenging from back there in 2nd position, and Rocky Caruso, car number 11, is certainly not giving up. He'll try every trick in the book to try and advance his positioning, exiting corner number 2 with 1.5 remaining.
Caruso's really caught up. I think the battle between Middleton, used to be Ryder behind the wheel of that car. Middleton and Randall has slowed the pace a little, allowing Rocky to close the gap. Only 1 lap to go now for Randall. Can he do it? And it looks like he's got him coming out of turn 2, and he's done it. 1 lap to go, still to face the stewards when he gets back, but he's left a gap. Can Middleton get back under? It doesn't look like it. And the Queensland Mazda RX-7 driver takes the win. He's got a few fans here in front of the commentary position. Sean Middleton picks up 2nd. Rocky Caruso for 3rd this time. Yellow flag aloft by John Dawson, and we've got a green, and Scotty gets the jump. Les Light finds his way, looks for the outside around Beneke. McCarthy is held sway, sticks to the inside and finds his way through, and he's Les Light and McCarthy neck and neck down the back straight. Les Light got the move, still high. McCarthy holding slow on the pole line, and he's going to come out off turn 4 in 2nd position.
Yes, I think he's really beginning to get the hang of Tony Hallett's Falcon now. Paul Ryan, as he exits corner number 2, stands on it down the back chute, and it's still Harry Carey out there leading. 81, John Leslight back there in 3rd position, but Brad Scott's in the Pontiac as he rockets into corner number 1. Certainly taking no prisoners, as Johnny Leslight's managed to get through on the inside of McCarthy, nice but Kerry fighting back, running wide into corner number 1, getting plenty of drive, and now the ding-dong battle continues between Kerry McCarthy and John Leslight. This time McCarthy getting through, and now sitting in 2nd position, again a little sideways, and Johnny Leslight, car 81, back there in 3rd position, with car 33, Nick Girdlestone, rounding out the top 4, followed by number 4, Trevor Hammer, and car number 2, Ivor Beneke, who I feel personally is a little bit shy of laps after just coming into the season after a few years not being in the Speedway circles, but he's trying to get back, and I feel has been improving steadily throughout the meeting.
Girdlestone is tackling Leslight now, but wasn't that a great move from McCarthy earlier? Saw Leslight come underneath, so Kerry just hung very high in the turn, turned in very late and just aimed down for that gutter, and sure enough Leslight had a bit of a push, headed out towards the ambulance gate and left a big gap there. We've got a car into the fence.
Yes, I thought for an instant it was our race leader, but no, Brad Scott just through, no problems. And I can't quite pick up the car, in fact. It's Ivor Beneke, car number 2. Thanks very much, fellas. Up except for the green flag. A resumption of heat number 35, being sponsored by Glenn Dix, the flag waver himself. So it's Brad Scotcher getting away. McCarthy back there behind him, driving Tony Howlett's Falcon number 29, and number 81, Johnny Leslight, rounding out the top 3, with Nick Girdlestone, car 33, back there in 4th position, followed by car number 4, Trevor Hammer, as the clay flies, and still Brad Scotcher. out there. It's been a faultless performance thus far as he scoots down the back straight, but the battle for second, third and fourth positions respectively is still very much up for grabs as McCarthy cops a big push in the front end, gets it back down on the terra firma this time now, down the main chute, 5 laps up on the Coca-Cola counter, and still Kerry McCarthy trying to put the all-important second positioning points on the board. Halfway down the back chute, a turn of speed from Johnny Leslight, car 81, and Nick Girdlestone, car 33, still back there rounding out the top 4. And following Girdlestone, car number 4, Trevor Hammer, driving for Blair Auto Auto Parts, but still it's Brad Scott. He's absolutely thrown caution to the wind in this event, and I think if my memory serves me correctly, Brad could be looking at, I think, 3 wins and a second possibly, which would put him on level terms with Grenville Anderson. So very, very interesting. We'll wait to see on the official starters when they come to hand as Brad Scott just scooting through the 3-4 turn. But as far as I'm concerned, the battle for third, fourth and fifth position very much undecided because we've got Kerry McCarthy, the car getting a bit of a push in the turns. John Leslight, car number 81, not giving up. And car 33, Nick Girdlestone, still back there, still very much in the running for a top 3 finish here. As McCarthy, yep, the car pulling onto the infield. So horrid luck there with only I'd say a lap and a quarter to go for the McCarthy Tony Howell Daytona Science team, but down the main chute, Nick Girdlestone on the inside of Johnny Leslight, and he's passed him, so a clever little passing move. However, the South Australian Brad Scott to the checkered flag waves. Fine performance from the Mobile Scotch Petroleum Pontiac team. Second position, well, we still got a heated battle on our hands, but Nick Girdlestone, car 33, getting through for an unofficial second, followed by car 81, John Leslight. Excellent drive with number 4, Trevor Hammer. Go with the green flag, 15 up on the Coca-Cola counter. Watch for the start. Row number 1, John Carney and Rocky Caruso. And it's been given, and we're away and racing. It's John Carney into corner number 1, assuming front running position. Rocky Caruso, car number 11, back there in second. One of the early movers, car 85, Chad Johnson, who sweeps Stevie Stewart out of the way. And Johnson, though, it's Baker's lost it. Baker's lost it, and the entire field have managed to miss him. Going in midway, set for 15 heart-thumping laps of the repechage, and we get the green flag and giving Caruso a bit of a nudge. It's car 61, John Carney in the 1-2 turn. Chad Johnson running the high road to China, and Carney looking for traction. Johnson swings to the outside. Middleton sideways and out of shape. I'm not sure whether the front end's bent on the car, but in the race lead, it's John Carney. Look out, cars flying in all directions. Exiting corner number 4. As we said, you can expect some absolutely hair-raising manoeuvres out here. McCarthy, car 29, about to pull onto the infield. So unfortunate there for Kerry McCarthy after blowing a motor in Wednesday night practice, but it's John Carney, car 61. He must be nervous, but he's still going to try and put the laps on the board. Caruso's been out there. He's been fast all season, but now he finds himself backing up through the field in the repechage, and it's rather uncharacteristic of Rocky. But John Carney's out there leading 85, and Chad Johnson in second position. That'd make him through, but he's been given the black flag with a white stripe through it. So many a sensation here early on, 3 laps down, 12 remaining. The order, John Carney, Chad Johnson, Peter Brook, Rocky Caruso, Paul DeLacy, Trevor Hammer, Bruce Tate in there, Lachlan Jeffries, Gary Cook, Terry Reichstein, Sean Middleton, Ivor Manicki, Neil Windsor, Joan Miller and Claude Mingy rounding out the field.
Big tank slapper there from Carney, allowing Johnson to find his way through. You're starting to wonder whether we're at Speedway Park or are we at Claremont. West Australians, 1, 2, 3, Rocky Caruso, and then another one in Paul DeLacy. But my tip's holding sway at the moment. Johnson up high, the car starting to look a bit battered and worn from a bit of contact. It looks like Middleton pulled onto the infield there. That's tragic luck for him, but it's still Johnson in first. 61, Carney holds sway in second. Rocky Caruso back up into second position, and the car of Carney getting very, very loose. And it looks like Rocky's get the chance to come through. Oh, trouble there for Carney. God, I had a big tank slapper coming out of turn 4. Hands working feverishly on the wheel.
For the green flag, this is the recommencement of the Cedric Saunders repechage for the 91-92 Nationals here at the park. 10 laps up on the counter and getting away blindingly fast and rocking and rolling his way through the 1-2 turn is Chad Johnson, the Western Australian. Peter Brook, car 65 back there behind him. With car 11, Rocky Caruso rounding out the top 3. And Paul, I can't really see Rocky making any real ground. In fact, he's dropping back slightly every lap here. And Paul DeLacy, car 27, could be one of the drivers to watch in the closing stages.
Well, Rocky actually made his way past Brooke before the previous restart, so that was really bad luck for him. The Carney came unstuck and ended up into the wall because, of course, Lacey's had to go back a lap, so Caruso's hard work went straight out the window. Now, of course, after a couple of laps, the tyres can't be pulled down. Maybe different cars react differently after restarts, and now he seems to be losing ground to Brooke as Neil Winter finally succumbs to that flat tyre. Obviously feels it's better to pull in, Will, not really serving his purpose by still trying to circulate, getting into guys who are in with half a chance to make this Australian Championship final. Doesn't want to bring them unstuck by just trying to finish. But here we go, we're talking about Caruso, and we've now made up a lot of ground because the car of Peter Brooks has been starting to handle a little loosely as the event has progressed. He had a couple of big moments, a couple of big tank flappers coming out of turn, where it's getting very sideways, and here comes Caruso now as himself gets very sideways, almost neck and neck down the straight. But Rocky's experience here, I think, is eventually going to pay out because Brooke is making mistakes left, right and centre. He struggles to keep control of that car, and there's still 5 laps to go. Rocky's going to be half a chance to find a way past, and I think he's going to done it. That's it. Give him a cheer, ladies and gentlemen. That's the South Australian. Another one through into the final. Still got 4 laps to hang on to, but he's certainly looking good at this stage, John.
Yeah, it certainly is here. Paul has managed to make it into second position, as you said, but out there leading Chad Johnson, car 85. He seems to have the car up, or set up rather softly because it just hovers through the ruts that are beginning to form. Just running over a bit of fiberglass there in the 1-2 turn. I think it's a bit of fiberglass, possibly a bit of paper down there exiting corner number 2, and a couple of the drivers running it over. Let's hope it doesn't puncture any tyres. Johnson all sideways down the main straight and just about throwing it away. And still Rocky Caruso sitting in second position. He'll qualify for the final if he keeps this kind of driving up. And, well, he's really made me eat my words out here. Paul, I said that he didn't appear to be going fast enough to make it by Peter Brook, but he's certainly turned up the wick now, coming down the main straight. 1 lap remaining for Chad Johnson, the Western Australian, to make it through to position number 19 in the A main, with the number 11, Rocky Caruso, back there in second, and put it together for the Western Australian in a real hurry. Chad Johnson, car 85, coming by. Number 11, Rocky Caruso for second. 65, Peter Brook, followed by number 7, Joan Miller, a lap down. And 4th position should eventually go to car 71, I'd say, Bruce Tate. But an entertaining rapid charge there. And now this is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen.
Champion. Let me introduce the other drivers on the pole position. Should be car number 10, Grenville Anderson from Creek in New South Wales, 3 times winner of the title. In position 2, number 21, Brad Scotcher from Parafield Gardens. He's the state champion 2 years in a row. Roof number 81 in position 3 is John Meslott from the Wollumbar, New South Wales. Yes, give him a great round of applause. Car number 44 in position 4 is Robert Gray from Perth in Western Australia. He's their current state champion. Car number 6 from position 5 is Stephen Miller from Two Wells in South Australia, driving a Pontiac Firebird. Car 53 is Alan Baker from Gunnedah in New South Wales, driving an EB Falcon from position 6. Car number 76 from position 7 is Mark Weaver of Heathcote in Victoria, driving a VN Commodore.
Okay, Paul Ryan, row by row, let's do it. We've got Grenville Anderson and South Aussie champion Brad Scotcher on row number 1.
Row number 2, John Leslite and Robert Gray, the pacey Western Australian.
Row number 3, we've got Stephen Miller and one of the Bakers also in there on the outside of the 3rd row.
Stewie Robertson from Newcastle in New South Wales and Randall. And it's away.
Okay, corner number 1, and Grenville Anderson are gaining the upper hand. Brad Scotch is settling in right behind him now, and Scotch is on the inside, side by side down the back chute, and then Grenville Anderson, he's finding back. He's saying, if you want to go around me, Brad Scotch, you're going to have to do it the hard way down the main chute for the first time. 1 down, 34 remaining, and it's the IROC of Anderson, and Scotch just through on the inside. So Brad Scotch, of the South Australian champion, is out there and leading the field by about 5, maybe 6 car lengths.
Anderson's out.
Yep, Anderson's in trouble. Something's given way, and it's a similar occurrence of Neville Lance, the poor luckless Western Australian in the Speed Car Nationals. But so now it looks like he's rejoining the field down on the straight as a crash. It's Bill Miller, car 77, bringing down the yellow, and it may have to go back to the previous fully complete. Set to go 33 up on the Coca-Cola counter. The resumption of the ASCF Australian Super Standard Car Championship for the 91-92 season, kicking off with the green flag, and Brad Scotch are getting back in 2 laps in corner number 1. Behind him, car number 81 in Johnny Leslight at this stage, and 3rd position, car 44, Robert Gray, with Alan Baker back there rounding out the top 5. So we've got 2 South Australians inside the top 5, being Stephen Miller and Brad Scotch, respectively, making their way into corner number 1. Also with there, Stewie Robertson, car 34, with also doing a pretty good job, Wayne Randall, the Queenslander, 69, John Hughes, 72, the Tasmanian Neville Harper, and Ronnie Pine, the New South Welshman, getting a little bit out of shape, but now standing on it down the back chute. He's in the process of having a terrific battle with Tony Giancola, number 43. As they exit corner number 4, the traffic is certainly intense coming down the main straight. But Brad Scotch is out there. He's got a quarter of a lap lead. And boy, oh boy, wouldn't it be disheartening if Brad was to come up upon a race stoppage. Remembering he's borrowing a motor from Darren Knowles and Bill Webb Racing. And they'd be sitting on the edge of their seats, possibly the end of the pit stand also. One driver blowing smoke coming down here. It's car 65, Peter Brook. 65, Peter Brook blowing a fair bit of smoke, and another one. It's the race leader, Grenville Anderson. The former race leader, Grenville Anderson, car number 10. Exiting corner number 2, he's in a whole heap of strife, but I don't think it matters.
And Miller's in trouble. Miller tried to force his way under Robert Gray. It looks as if he's bent something in the rear of the car. He climbed over his right front wheel. The car left in air. Looks like as if it's come down and something's broken in the right rear, and that's tragic luck for him because he was really giving Gray the big hurry up.
Okay, so going through traffic into corner number 3 with 7 laps down, 28 remaining. It's Brad Scotch, a Champagne Super Sedan action coming your way from the Action Attraction here in Adelaide as far as we're concerned, being Speedway Park. Stewie Robertson, car 34, who's in a bit of strife halfway down the back chute, and the car slumming up progressively. Scotch are already lapping cars of the calibre of Rocky Caruso and Bill Miller, and now preparing to come down on the inside of Nick Girdlestone, car 33, who finished 2nd in the Australian title last year. But exiting corner number 2, it's still the South Aussie pilot in Brad Scotch, leading them home. 81. Now the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions respectively is an absolute rip snorter between Johnny Leslight, Robert Gray, and also in there Alan Baker, the New South Welshman. All drivers seem to be intent on running the mid-track line. And back there in 5th position in the standings being car 36, Wayne Randall, the Queenslander, with car 72, Neville Harper back there in 6th position. And he's being hounded avidly by car 69, the Pantera of John Hughes, with David Nichols, car 82. Also in there doing a pretty good job with car number 3, Ronnie Pine. Car 58, defending champion Tony Grinstead. Back there and behind Tony, we could possibly have car number 55 and Peter Garrett with Tony Giancola. And Brad Scotch are coming out to put a lap on Giancola down the main chute with exactly 23 laps to go.
Well, traffic's really going to be the key in this event for Brad Scotch. He's now virtually half a lap in front, and you could just about say he's got this shot to bits, but because of the traffic, he only needs one back marker to do the wrong thing, to change lines coming off a turn and bring him unstuck, and all that hard work is going to be straight out the window. The Scotcher crew up in the pits would be as nervous as they could be. Fingers would be crossed. Half a lap in front, still 20 laps remaining. Anything can happen from here on in. Of course, if we get a restart, a yellow flag, that half a lap lead is automatically evaporated, and that gives the likes of Leslight, Baker to really close the gap. And speak of the devil, here comes the yellow light.
Yes, that Tony Grinstead appears to be either Tony Grinstead or Gary Cook. I think the former. However, the green flag waves, 22 laps up on the board, and 2nd, 3rd and 4th position drivers Still again a half a lap behind Brad Scotcher here, Paul Ryan. John Lesnight's in second. Third position is Alan Baker, and Robert Gray, car 44, rocking and rolling his way out of corner number 2. And behind him, car 36, Wayne Randall rounding out the top 5.
Baker got the jump on the Western Australian before the green flag, really. Really caught him napping. Maybe he was a little bit grey, he was a little slow in getting on the gas, but Baker was, well, I wouldn't like to tell tales on him, but I reckon he was passed before they came round to the start-finish line. Well and truly. But Scotcher really taking advantage of the fact that the lap cars do start in the field, and he's now got 6 cars and almost half a lap between himself and John Leslie.
Okay, coming down the main straight, still car 21, the South Aussie two-time winner. It's Brad Scotcher driving the Mobil and Scotch Petroleum Pontiac. Second position, at least half a lap behind. Carter Brady 1 being Johnny Leslie. Third at this precarious moment in time being car 44 in Robert Gray. And fourth position being Alan Baker, the New South Welshman. With fifth position still being Wayne Randall, my apologies. Car number 36, of course, being Wayne Randall. But the Di Tommaso Pantera, also driving for Scotch Petroleum, being driven by John Hughes, is right up there on the hammer and tack of Wayne Randall down the back chute. And that is a battle for fifth and sixth positions respectively. And Ronnie Pine now joining the fray. So a good battle going on just about wherever you look, apart from the official race leader being South Australian, born and bred Brad Scotcher down the main chute, driving the Pontiac. And hasn't he been so consistent during the season? He's been blindingly fast when he's needed to be, namely the South Aussie title, and again here at the Nationals, and again on the local nights, hasn't quite been giving it the same stick that he's been giving on these big events. And I think a sensible policy after blowing a motor here, I think the previous meeting, but thanks to the generosity of Darren Knowles and Bill Webb, they've given Brad the opportunity to get out there and find the South Australian colours high, and he's certainly not letting them down, running the 3-4 turn with 14 laps remaining.
A couple of cars out already so far in the final. Gian Cole has pulled to the infield. Stewie Robinson, also David Nichols from Tasmania is also out. Stephen Miller, of course, as we mentioned earlier, but Scotch has really now got a very, very large lead. And he's, very shortly, he's going to be coming up to lap he's now only a quarter of a lap away from 5th, 6th and 7th place. That's an amazingly dominant performance.
Okay, trying to pick up our race leader for you. He's going into corner number 3, coming around to put a lap on Neville Harper, the Tasmanian. The lap flag being shown. Now here's an indication. Brad Scotcher, your race leader, is only a quarter of a lap behind the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th positions respectively on the racetrack. I mean, he's absolutely cutting our track apart here in Adelaide. Some would say he's got the advantage through the local track, but we have never had a track with this much moisture. We've never had a track that's been as hooky as this throughout the season. I think that throws local track advantage right out the window as far as Brad Scotch is concerned. He's been out here, apart from the valiant attempts of Grenville Anderson during the course of the 2 nights, has absolutely destroyed the opposition with 3 wins and a second in his 4 countable rounds of heat races. You know, he's coming underneath car 22, Gav McKenzie, and right up behind Neville Harper now. Second position is not too far ahead of him, being car 81. Johnny Leslie with 10 laps remaining, so we've got a less distance and a heat race to go. Robert Gray bouncing his way out of corner number 2. Alan Baker still back there in 4th position, but rounding out the top 5, and he hasn't been driving a great deal during the 91-92 campaign, is John Hughes and the Di Tommaso Pantera. So 2 South Australians inside the top 5. What a remarkable effort here at Speedway Park in Adelaide.
It certainly is. Scotch got held up for a number of laps there behind Neville Harper, and Harper, even though he could see Scotcher was well and truly through him, really shut the door down on him very hard and actually made contact with the back of his car. And that was, I don't know, a guy of Harper's experience should know better than that. I think Scotch actually can see Leslie up ahead of him, and he's starting to be a little cautious through traffic, and that's not going to hurt at all. He knows that there's no one on his hammer. 7 laps to go, and over these last 7 laps, every little noise the car makes is going to worry the life out of him. Every little clink, every little noise, he's going to think, is that something breaking? Is that something letting go on the motor? This is going to be 6 of the most nervous laps in the life of Brad Scotcher as a Speedway driver. 6 laps to go till hopefully he brings double glory to South Australia. We had the Australian Speed Car Championship earlier this year. a local hero won in Philorene. Can we have Brad Scotcher repeat the dose?
I think a very interesting point here, Paul, with 5 laps remaining. The cars are lurching around quite ominously on the racetrack between Johnny Lesnight, Alan Baker and Robert Gray. And the Panzer are not too far off the pace of John Hughes. And 6th position, Wayne Randall. And Scotcher beginning to just ease his way through. He's lapped everybody bar the first, or I should say second, third, fourth, up to about 7th position. But the freight train continues with John Lesnight, Alan Baker, Robert Gray, John Hughes, Wayne Randall, and Ronnie Pine beginning to get his act together. But it's still Brad Scotcher. He's done what he's needed to do. He's got out there. He's got the nervousness out of his system, hopefully. Let's pray for South Australia's sake that everything holds together, that Brad can just maintain his composure as he exits corner number 4, coming down the main straight. 2 laps to go for Brad Scotcher, and he's slowing up there. I think he can afford. He's got about a 3/4 of a lap lead. He's slowing down progressively around the track. Maybe something letting go. He's about to get the white flag next time out. So a sensation here. Scotcher just feeding his way around. Maybe he's just backing off slightly. You can see the lead he's got. John Lesnight more than half a lap behind in 2nd position with Alan Baker rounding out the top 3. So he's on the last lap. Let's hope that everything can hold together for Brad Scotcher's sake. He runs onto the infield, a little bit of a nervous moment, running the 3-4 turn. How about it, South Australia? Brad Scotcher, new national champion, down the main chute. Tremendous stuff indeed for Mobil and Scotcher Petroleum. 2nd position still hanging very much in the balance between John Lesnight, car 81, and Alan Baker coming down. Put it together for the New South Welshman, John Lesnight, I should say. Alan Baker, an unofficial 3rd position, followed by Robert Gray, car 44. 69 and John Hughes, 36 Wayne Randall, car number 3 Ronnie Pine, and again coming down right now. Put it together, South Australia. A big round of applause. He's about to take the national flag. A pat on the back, a shake in the hand from Johnny Dawson. Corner number 1, that's the way. Get behind him. He's done South Australia proud here this evening by becoming the national champion for the 91-92 season. That's the way. Wave the programs. How about it up in the stands through the 1-2 turn. Tremendous stuff indeed. A South Australian, well, he's won 2 back-to-back South Aussie Super Sedan car titles, Paul Ryan, but he's really come of age here this evening, putting the national on the board. And of course, last year's title and defending champion Tony Grinstead not really figuring as prominently as he would have hoped during the course of the 2 nights, but take nothing away from Brad Scotcher. And Spirit Thought for Grenville Anderson really was a pace setter throughout the heat races, along with Brad had a few difficulties along the way, particularly in the early stages, but coming through the pit stand, that's the way. Put it together there. Certainly grand stuff indeed from Brad Scotcher in the Pontiac. Certainly he would be loving driving the Pontiac as opposed to the Tirana. And again, the presentations will be taking place shortly, but a round of applause and keep it going for the South Aussie. He'll be hopping out of the car. We'll be able to hear it now. Really excellent stuff indeed. Johnny Lesnight, car 81, pulling up, as is Alan Baker. And Robert Gray, car 44, I think getting in for 4th position ahead of John Hughes, car 69. Will be crossing down shortly for all the presentations to Mal Rosenzweig trackside. And Mal, something for us? Okay, maybe not. So we're not picking up reception down there on the infield.
Actually, Alan Baker, as he crossed the start
Fair amount of noise down here, John. Can we have the official positions again, please, just to check it?
Okay, officials have been given. 21 Scotcher for 1st, 81 Leslight 2nd, 53 has been given for 3rd.
Of course,
Alan Baker, and 44 Robert Gray in for 4th. Now Baker actually got the protest flag as he crossed the start-finish line, possibly due to that earlier start where he got the jump on Gray, possibly before the green went. But all in all, really, it all comes down to whoever won this event, and the winner was, of course, a South Australian hero, 2-time state champion, and now a national championship winner for Mobil and Scotcher Petroleum, Brad Scotcher. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, give him a cheer. Fantastic effort. Imagine waiting 4 days after putting in good performances on the Friday night, the first night of a national championship, being all primed up for the following night and having to wait day after day of rain. Tremendous stuff from Scotcher. And
Robert Gray, don't come up here and say a few words. It's the longest Australian Super Sedan Championship we've ever run. It went from February to March.
Yeah, nearly a whole month, and we didn't think we'd get it run anyway with the amount of rain we've had. It's been a tribute to everyone who stayed and worked hard for this title, especially the drivers. They put up with a hell of a lot, and the promotion has helped them out. The ASF's tried to help them out as much as they can, but it's a real tribute to everyone who stayed here and hung in, and thank God the weather held.
Thank you, Sir Will. From Western Australia, car 44 in 4th place. Will you please give him a big hand, Robert Gray. The girls from the Barton Fitness Centre. Robert, you drove very, very hard out there and you had to run up here. It was a great race.
Oh, it was a really good race. It was fantastic. Congratulations to the first 3 in. And we'll see you all next year. I'm a bit puffed from running.
Good on you, Robert, and congratulations. In 3rd placing from New South Wales, rooftop number 53, Alan Baker. He doesn't want it. Yes, he does. Alan, a great race there, eh?
Yeah, it was hard. It was a good race. The guy that won it, he really deserved to win it because he can haul ass, eh?
Well, congratulations to you, Alan, all the way from New South Wales, and great you could stay over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the promotion for putting on this meeting. Hasn't been easy for them. In fact, it's been hard for them and for us. I'd like to thank the car owner, Steen Earth Moving Moree. Without them, I wouldn't be here. And all my crew, they had to fly home the other day, and I rounded up a couple of locals. And I'd like to thank Greg and Daryl and their lovely wives. And I've got a couple of new guys here tonight, Bowie and his brother Graham. And my wife, who puts up with all the shit that I go on with. And I'd like to thank all you people here for coming out. 3rd's better than 4th anyhow. Thank you.
Okay, if you'd like to stand over there with Robert, Alan, for group photographs afterwards. Another great race and another great drive from New South Wales, rooftop number 81, John Leslie. John, your trophy coming up from the girls from the Barton Fitness Centre and from Doug. There you are, John. I said to the other guys, I have to say to you, it was a great race.
Yeah, it was a hard race. The guy that won really, really deserved it. He was definitely faster than all of us. He handled the rough conditions a bit better than we did. I'd just like to thank Nolly Graham, who sponsors the car, the boys that worked their butts off out in the pits. We threw a caliper off the back wheel in the last heat, and we had to work like mad to get the car ready. Thanks very much.
Good on you, John, and thank you for coming and staying over. And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's done it. South Australian champion. Let's hear it for Australian champion, Brad Scotcher. Brad, your sash first from the lovely girls from the Barton Fitness Centre, and from Doug, the trophy. I believe there's a bigger one somewhere back in the shed that you'll be able to hang on to for 12 months. And here it is. That's the one you need, mate. Your name will go on with some great drivers around Australia. And, mate, knowing you for as long as I have, you certainly deserve it. Brad, what can we say except you ripper?
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed the ruts because I knew the other guys didn't like them, but yeah, the race went really quick. Actually, I was real pleased to win it. And I'd like to thank first of all Darren Knowles and Bill Webb. Last Friday night we blew an engine up, and they were good enough to lend us one. And Mike Stewart, because he worked all Sunday fitting the engine, ready to get in the car. My crew, Rick, Tony, Sonia, Mum and Dad. My sponsors, Scotcher Petroleum, Newman's Custom Design Furniture, and Patches Bitumen. And I'd like to thank Mark Peacock at Sascar Engineering. He builds the best race cars in Australia. And that's all. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight after getting rained out so many times. It's good to see a few people that are out here. And thanks to Speedway Park for persisting on getting the race going.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the new Australian champion, Brad Scotcher. Brad, if you'd like to take your place over there with the rest of the team, I know we'd love to do a lap of honour with you. And you forgot somebody.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Blunden family for this other trophy they've donated. Thank you very much.
Good on you. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the champions. Again, congratulations to all 4 drivers. Naturally to Brad Scotcher, he done a fillerine, and we're very proud of him because he's a young lad that's done it the right way. And a great champion he is too. And I guess, in fact, I know there's a lot of people that are very proud of him. Would you please give them your applause as they do a victory lap of honour?
As in the street stocks here at Speedway Park, the green flag waves, and getting away early. Car number 3, Cyril O'Connor, 26 in Rob Gowling, 67 Jimmy Gibbs assuming 4th position with Ian O'Daniel. Car 51 scorching down the back chute, trying to put a number on Cyril O'Connor, and he's done so. In fact, I'd say those 3 drivers actually outmotored poor old Cyril there. So the order coming through, 1 lap down, 11 remaining. Rob Gowling, 26, 51 Ian O'Daniel, 67 Jimmy Gibbs, 69 Rick the Animal Scouse, number 3 Cyril O'Connor, 71 Kim Montague, number 38 in there, and we've got a yellow. So let's get ready for the drama here in the street stocks as the green flag drops down the main straight away. Bit of poetry never goes astray. Also, car 51 into corner number 1, ironically, pushes Gowling up high, allowing Jimmy Gibbs the opportunity to pass Gowling on the inside, exiting corner number 2. Rick the Animal Scouse still back there in 4th position, and he's being hotly pursued by Cyril O'Connor and Kim Montague.
Oh, big trouble down in turn 2.
Hey, that's Knowlesy over there. Darren Knowles, car number 2. And car 38, I think by memory, Greg Goodfellow pedal early. Car 51, Ian O'Daniel getting away like a bat out of hell. 26, Rob Gowling in there behind him. But running the high road to China. And living to tell the tale is car 67, Jimmy Gibbs down the back chute. And the battle back there between Shane Fulcher, I think, car 49, and Rick the Animal Scouse, as well as Alan Rutledge, car 87, developing into a titanic struggle as they exit corner number 4, and back there behind him, Kim Montague, car 71, with 1 or 2 other drivers still in there, being 99 Alan Beaumain, and number 3 Cyril O'Connor with a flat front left-hand tyre. Now that car, you better be careful, because the car will be leaning over on the left-hand side, and Cyril O'Connor's car, as I mentioned, it's got a flat front left tyre. So the battle for the lead, we've got O'Daniel going head-to-head against car 67. And Jimmy Gibbs, car 26, Rob Gowling rounding out the top 3 at this stage in time. Behind him, car 49 in Shane Fulcher, we're led to believe, with car 69, Rick the Animal Scouse back there rounding out the top 5 or so. Followed by car 87, Alan Rutledge. And in dogged pursuit, we've got car 71 being driven by Kim Montague. 3 wide down the back chute. Good stuff here for the street stocks. And again, 2 wide with Ian O'Daniel just coming down low. But certainly plenty of drive wherever you'd like to run here. And the momentum factor, Paul Ryan, to try and keep these cars mobile certainly puts you 1 step ahead of the other guys if they're getting a little bit out of shape and not keeping it going. So we're coming down the chute, and he's definitely one of, or has been one of the top 3 runners consistently during the 91-92 season. That's Jimmy Gibbs, 51, Ian O'Daniel back there in second, who's just about cooked it. Yep, getting a little bit loose there, thanks to Rob Gowling and Shane Fulcher, who are neck and neck, going for broke down the back straight. Who will get the upper hand? They appear to have a little bit of an advantage getting off the turns here, particularly Fulcher driving car 49.
Fulcher on the high line really gets the big heave-ho from O'Daniel, who's not wanting to give up their second place, and they're hooked together. That allows Gowling to go through into second. O'Daniel holding a very tight line. Fulcher went up on the mountain, ran the outside, but got caught up there, and is now back, still back in 4th position.
Okay, so the race leader still being Jimmy Gibbs, car 67, 26 Rob Gowling, still in 2nd position with Shane Fulcher, car 49, still back there in 3rd position, only just with Ian O'Daniel trying every trick in the book to try and get through there. However, the right flag at the ready, car 99 Alan Beaumain just coming down and pulling onto the infield. 1 lap remaining for Jimmy Gibbs. Should get through quite comfortably. 3 quarters, as a matter of fact. 26 Rob Gowling in second for SA Motorspares. 49, we believe, is Shane Fulcher. 51 being Ian O'Daniel. 69, the Animal and Rick Scouse has just been passed by car 87 in Alan Rutledge with car 71. Kim Montague, but it's all over. The checkered flag waved. Car 67, Jim Gibbs, excellent performance. 26, Rob Gowling finishing a gallant second. 49, Shane Fulcher third, followed by 51.
Congratulations, Shane. Good race, eh?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. A bit rough there for a while. Ride it.
Okay, good on you. In second place, car 26, Rob Gowling. Second place, Rob Gowling. Rob, you also drove a good race and happy to get there?
Yeah, mate, sure am.
Okay, we'll quickly keep moving. And the winner, car number 67, give him a big round of applause, unshaven, Jimmy Gibbs. Jimmy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Car still for sale?
Certainly is.
So there you are. It's a winner's car. If you want to get into it, that's what to do. Like you just set up there, guys, congratulations. Good night, Moss, and your lovely wife. And congratulations to Brad Scotch on winning the Australian title. And remember, we'll be back here Friday week with the big sprint car night, the Gold Cup. Other than that, remember, Speedway's here on the track, not out on the road. Good night, everyone.